Hello everyone, welcome back to the Ace Maneuvers Twitch channel. I am super excited for this one. I've got a first edition Heroes Clash booster box here sent to me by Jasco Games. I'm very grateful, very appreciative, and I figured, you know, I should share the love. I should share the joy, the excitement with all of you and open this live on stream. This is a really cool set for a lot of reasons, and I think the number one thing that excites me the most is that it comes with support for literally every character in the game. I've not seen a character that's printed that didn't get some very detailed support for all of their symbols. You know, it's a very cool design decision, and my favorite childhood card game actually did something very similar to this. And while I know that it's probably not possible to do it for every single set, it was very cool to know that my favorite character, no matter when it was printed, was going to continue to receive support, you know, for their archetype, for their synergies, however it is. And that is something that I think is really cool, and I hope to see continue. It may not be every single expansion set, right? But if they continue to do that, like every 3 or 4 sets, maybe like once a year, I think that that would be a really cool design choice, you know, to make sure that if you're a really big fan of a specific version of a character, you know, that not only are you going to get support for that archetype, but specifically it's going to be guaranteed to be on their symbols. So very excited about that. The other thing is these first edition boxes come with the chance to pull the brand new Chrome Rare. So if I could be the first person, I haven't seen anyone pull a Chrome Rare yet. I know there's a couple box openings that have been going out, but you know, I gotta, can I hear it? Are you speaking to me, Chrome Rare? I think this might be the box. So if I could pull a Chrome Rare, that would be insane. They are special full art character cards. There's only, I think, 100 of each copy. So like there's 5 different characters and 100 of each Chrome Rare out there in the wild. So very limited, very collectible, and they really went all out, right? They went all out for the extra special textured foiling on them. So very excited for that. If I pull a Chrome Rare, you're probably going to see me do backflips out my window or something, because 500 in existence, they're gonna be pretty priced. And they all have something that's also really cool is they all have like a number etched on them. They all have like their own collector's number from, I believe, 1 to 100. So if you're somebody who has like a lucky number, right, if there's like a special date or something like that, you know, you can track those down too. So there's a lot of really cool ways to invest and collect. And you know what, let's get started, guys. Let's get right into the box opening here. So I've got okay, starting off strong with the box topper. Just gonna slide this over here. Box topper, we got Arctic Conflagration. Check that out. So make sure you guys can see that. See the foiling on like all the fire, and also like down there on the ice, right? That looks very cool. And now what's really interesting is, even though this is Todoroki on the card, if you look at those symbols, right, Earth, Fire, and Evil, those are actually his father's symbols, right? He's in the background there. Endeavor. This is actually an Endeavor starter card. It's an XR starter exclusive. SE either stands for Special Edition or Starter Exclusive. It's never been explicitly explained to me, but that's actually super cool. I didn't even know you could get XRs of the starter deck cards, so that's really cool. Those are probably like the hardest ones to track down, if I had to guess. And then it's a pretty versatile tech. I don't think I'm going to talk over every single card, but just because this is the very first one, it'll get Stun 2 or Powerful 3. So you can be really flexible with this card, right? It's essentially helping out all your other attacks or becoming like a finishing move. So, and then the idea that it could have 4 keywords on it is pretty tantalizing, considering some of the keyword support. So Very cool. Good way to start off with a starter exclusive extra rare. Next up we have quirk packs. Open this here. And then we've got quirk pack card. Slide this out. Uh-oh, it's a character. It's a backdraft. Check him out. Look at that. It's super shiny. And I like that it's like shiny everywhere except the text box. That's honestly kind of fucking genius. Like, sorry if Jessica doesn't want me to cuss in their box opening, but foiling in the art, not foil where I'm trying to read it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Every holographic card, every foil card, all your shinies should probably follow that basic template, and then, you know, get fancier from there, right? So Backdraft, really cool character. A lot of people are split on him. I think that it's a lot of effort, right? But you can sideboard him against fire decks. He actually puts fire decks out with extra -1 damage, so or -1 speed, right? Yeah. It gets an additional -1 speed, so love that. A speed control character who also wants to clog the card pool. Maybe one to watch out for. And then our second quirk pack card is gonna be, open that. Ooh, okay. Okay. This is a super interesting card, Chivalrous Competitor. So the reason this one's interesting is, oh, check out the foil. Again, the foil on the art and not the text box, just brilliant decision, brilliant maneuver. Love that. Love the foiling behind the symbols too, actually, and like on the control check and just everywhere but the text box. Looks so good. Yeah, so what's really interesting about this card is both characters draw a card. It says enhance flip, both players draw one card, and that could be very difficult to utilize, right? Like typically we don't want to just let our opponent draw cards. However, there are characters who make good use of that on these symbols. So All Might 3 and Nezu probably just jam 4 copies of this, because All Might 3 gets bonus stats if you have cards in hand anyway, and Nezu actually gets to draw 2 cards off this, because he'll draw when you draw. So super interesting card. And the defensive response is incredible. So very good stuff. Very good pull so far just off the quirk packs. Get one of the characters out of the way, right? You typically only need one of the characters if they don't stack themselves together. So, all right, let me break these packs out so I can get them stacked up and ready to go here. All right, pack number 1. Open that. Pull this out. Oh, I'm supposed to do it upside down, right? I'm supposed to do... So this is the rare, and then if there is an extra rare, it would be this card. So we'll put this one second to last, right? That's the way it's done, right? That's the box opening trick. There we go. Card number 1, Tentacle Strike. Alright, here it is. First pack. Oh no, it's next card. Next card. First pack if we get an XR in the first pack. Nope. Okay, fair enough. So our rare for the very first pack that I've ever opened for Heroes Clash is going to be the Chrome. It's gotta be the Chrome Rare, right? How fucking sick would that be? Oh, okay. Oh, it is an ultra rare. Compression Sphere. Look at that. That's actually so sick how it's, you know, coming from the, like the foiling is spiraling out, right? I love that. And I love, again, on the ultra rares, the text box is so clean and readable. I'm a big fan of readable text. That's just what I'm all about. Look at that. So 4 high for 5 has EX2. It punishes people for what is it? If you've lost life, if any player's lost life, it gets stunned too. And then when you block with it, they lose a momentum and they lose a health. Very clean, very elegant. And then again, just look at you got like the rainbow shine, and you've got like the spiral shine. There's like 2 different foils almost. 2 different layers. Love that. Very good stuff. Pack number 2. Pop this out. Gonna do it fixed down this time. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa, if I blew the reveal on something. Alright, so rare, potential XR to the bottom. Okay, zipline dart, catching a ride, male bonding. This card is probably going to be way more relevant than I want it to be. It's a good symbol ally card that helps you against like turn 2 aggression, right? Like it's very easy to get poked and then yeah, you just build an extra card. Entire decks have practically been based on that strategy, so there you go. Blitz knee, alright, and then the second rare ever. Whoa! Oh! Grenadier bracers, okay. Okay, so this is kind of the reverse of the Ultra. This is the rare foiling, right? It's like all around the art. It's the names, the control, the block mod. It's basically everything but the art is foiled. It's like a reverse foil for the rare. It's kind of nice. And then it looks like the text box is just slightly foiled. Oh no, it's not. Oh, it's kind of weird. It's very shiny around it, so it almost looks like the text box is shiny too, but it's like everything else. It's all the borders and stuff, which I think is pretty neat. I think that's pretty cool. It gives it almost like a rainbow name kind of a vibe, but then it also is backed up by extra shininess. So very cool. This card, by the way, is an uncapped damage bonus. The bottom enhance gets +1 damage for each foundation you have destroyed this whole turn. So watch out for decks who are just gonna blow everything up during one enhance step, and just like you can put this on a throw. You can blow your whole board up with brute strengths and stuff, and you know, tight-lipped everything away, and then grenadier bracers on a throw. Oh, big damage potential. And then it actually rewards you for having strings too. So, just overall, like a powerhouse 1-diff asset. Next pack. Next pack. Oh, we got a split on this one. Ooh, there we go. 2 cards to the bottom. Pull it out. Start flipping. Alright. Second to last. Last card is... Oh, this is an ultra rare. Okay. I saw like the full, the art foil for a second. But it was like this giant... Oh, it's the needle point. Check that out. The needle point. It's like a giant... I thought it was a shuriken at first. I was like, damn, they got the ninja in my hero now? Check that out. And look at it. You can see Toga's eyes are foiled. Her eyes are like glowing, right? Like she's a psycho killer chick. They got like this big, huge shine on the needle as it's coming towards you. And they got like these nice... They have like these really nice like anime line backgrounds. Where it's like... It's kind of like a colored background, right? It seems it's like sort of generic, but then it's all coming to the action anyway. So you're really focused on what's happening with the character rather than stuff in the background. I like it. I don't know how much play this card will see, but EX3 is nothing to scoff at. Can I get a better autofocus? Nah, probably not. Huh. All right, so two ultra rares down. I think it's average 6 in a pack, right? Average 6 in a box. So we open this. Come over here. Pop these. 1, 2. Yeah, it does look good. Thanks for the first time chat, Cattering Plays. Alright, I was talking to someone the other night. Deadlock Stun 3 could be way more relevant than I think. Like if you're at 11 or 12 and don't have stun hate, right? Let's flip this over. Ooh, a common asset? Interesting, or uncommon, I guess. Ooh, I saw Nil pulled a XR Battle Arena, which I thought it was already foil. Ooh, Tape Flex. Everyone's favorite. Or Trap Flex, sorry, no. Easily excited. And, alright. We're going to get an XR soon. I can feel it. We're going to get an XR pretty soon. Alright, next one. Laceration. Okay, okay. For all you Stan fans, shout out to Alliteration Gaming. Now Stain actually has a character ability. Let's go. Oh, check that out on the rare foiling. It's on like the attack and let me grab this better. It's on the attack and damage, or the speed and damage, right? It's on the attack stats and the block mod. That's pretty cool. So this one's super interesting because Stain players, like before Stain dropped, people were debating on playing cards like Electric Jolt. They were debating on playing Throws and other non-weapon cards to guarantee dealing damage. And I was like for that plan. I played Evil Stain at my locals recently, and on like turn 7, I'm like, man, I wish I had a character ability. Like, I wish I had my response activated because everyone was just blocking all my attacks. You know, people were like, there's no way you don't hit someone if you play like Double Blade Slash twice in a turn, and yet my locals play Momo, so this should really help out a lot. Like, I don't know if you're gonna need to 4x this or whatever, but it also just has like a free drain one, so this activates Excited for Blood, which is probably more relevant than I want to admit. Like, you can, like, activating Excited for Blood during the enhanced step in a way that, like, they can't just, because they can still Faith Shield, right, to get around combo and this attack and wall cling it, but just removing one, burning one, get Excited for Blood going, that is like that is something that Death and Evil really, really care about. So a pretty nuanced card, even if it's not like the most powerful at face value. I wish it was ranged for snipe, actually. Just get like a solid burn 2 off of an attack. Coming in, pop it off. 1, 2. Come down here. What pack number is this? I should keep track. Pack number 5? 4? Pack number 4. Looks like 4. 1, 2. Yeah. Pack 4. Anyway. Cattering Plays says, sorry, I'm super new to the game, still looking into it. Why do characters have a check number? Can you have multiple in a deck? Yes, absolutely. Let me see if I have the character card here. So, I thought I pulled one. I did not. All right, so with the character cards, the biggest thing is they have a block modifier. So if you include it in your deck, you can block with it. It's a +0 mid block, and currently, I believe they're the only +0 mid blocks in the game. So Jose Narono, who just won the most recent regional license exam, won the first ever regional license exam with a +0 mid-block Kamui Woods in his deck. And then it's basically it's a 6-check that the symbol didn't have, right? Water doesn't have any 6-check foundations or assets, etc. So he wanted a 6-check in his deck, and it also came with a +0 mid-block for a deck that has 4 copies of tape, which turns attacks into mid attacks, and it had wall cling access, which if you can block an attack with wall cling, deals no damage. And so a mid block can block every attack except tape swing in the game, and that 1 +0 mid block just gave him so many other defensive options that other decks not running a character wouldn't have. On top of that, there is 2 or 3 characters that actually play character cards into the card pool and add them to their stage at the end of the turn. So if you want to add an ectoplasm to your stage, you play him on a 3 difficulty, the same way you would a 3 difficulty foundation. And then at the end of the turn, it just gets added to your stage and it attaches to your character, and he can use it for his character effects. So a very good question, actually, and something that a lot of new players ask is, why do the characters have all the same normal card qualities pretty much as other cards do? And it is because you can include them in your deck. Also, a very fun fact, and this is kind of this is really in a weird spot, like competitively, but you know, if you have the character card in your deck for like games 2 and 3, you can swap between your characters. So if you start out as Kamui Woods and then you decide, oh, or I would rather be Asui, or you know, Mina Ashido, you can just switch them out for game 2. You can do that from your sideboard too, though, but there is like some little angle you can get where you're like, oh, I didn't sideboard, I didn't take any cards out of my sideboard, and then you have a completely different character for game 2. So there's a lot of really cool things you can do with the system. All right, so this is pack number, I'm gonna say 4. Let me double check. 1, 2, 3, yeah. So this is pack number, oh, this is pack 5. Pack number 5. Alright, XR? No. Ultra rare. Hey, it is an ultra rare. Oh, check that out. Yo, I don't know if you can see, there's like a, it's almost like a cell shaded kind of a deal. There's like a, almost like a chrome pattern behind it. That's pretty sick. Blood Mood Rending. This card is going to be absolutely insane in the decks that really want to run it. You get to just basically, you get to Thoughtseize your opponent at the cost of 1 little card from your hand, and also just burn them for free. But check out, it's like, it's called Blood Moon Rending. It almost looks like there's like bloody sun rays. It's like bloody sunlight behind them. It's pretty cool. And then again, like, I just really love the choice to leave the text box like very readable. Big fan of that. So 2 stain cards back to back. We got a stain 1 and a stain 2 card. So a deck needs cards that all share 1 chosen little image in the bottom left corner there with the main character, correct? Yes. They are called resource symbols. And each card, give or take, is going to have 3 of them. Some cards have the infinity symbol, which means they have all 12. And when you build your deck, you choose one of the 3, and all of your cards must share that 1 symbol. So it doesn't matter what the other symbols are on it, as long as they all have at least 1 of them, you're good to go. And then there is actually like older legacy formats, right? Like there is the UNiVERSUS system where you can actually include cards of any symbol. You just can't actually play them without being able to match the symbol to your character. So similar to Magic the Gathering, where you would cheat cards into play, I've played plenty of decks in the old Legacy UNiVERSUS formats where I cheat cards into play that share no symbols with my character. So there is like a lot of really cool stuff you can do. But because my hero is like its own standalone format and all the characters are like designed to play on their symbols and things like that, for game balance and for ease, you know, ease of access to the format, accessibility, you can only use one. Ooh, failed 2K as a sick Blood Moon Rending deck. Interesting. What symbol is it? I actually really want to like Blood Moon Rending because the idea of just getting to look at your hand and say I win the game is so nice. And it shares 2 symbols with Villainous Waylay. So you can literally start Waylay, go attack, and then Blood Moon Rending. So, oh, focused attack! Funny Punch! That, it's huge! It's so big! And they're all combos. Huh. Damn, Funny Punch is real. Alright, pack number 6? I'm not going to keep track. We'll find out at the end. The next pack. 1, 2, next card. Alright. We're due for an extra rare, right guys? I think there's like, what, 5 in a... 4 plus the box topper. We're due for an extra rare. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the extra rare. Give it to me. Give me the extra. Alright, here we go. No, a normal battle arena. But that's alright because we have our rare is influencing the youth. Okay. Got some kids playing video games. We got some selfies being taken. I can dig it. I can dig it. Are these like actual... I guess these are background characters. I was going to ask what their names are. But they're like dressing up like Stain, I guess. Right? They're wearing like the Stain bandana. That's pretty sick. So this card is really cool because as a control piece, one of the things that gets really frustrating is when your opponent has multiple copies of a card out, right? Like if they have 2 speed resets and you have 1 card that flips something, you're usually going to flip something else because they're going to have access to that speed reset when it's really important. So like that angle is just still weaker most of the time. But this will commit all copies of the card in play. So once your opponent has like a big old wall, you can usually get generic value out of this by just choosing whatever they have the most copies of in play. But in certain circumstances, you're just going to commit 1 card and win the game. You're just going to say, hey, you lose your best foundation, I win. Oh, so the 2 cards at the back are actually the rare and the ultra rare. So what I'm doing, I'm pulling them out, right? And I'm moving it to the bottom just so I can flip it last. So this is the rare. This should be an extra rare if I get one in my pack. And then this way I can flip them over. At least that's the way I've been doing it. Yeah. If I flip them... Yeah, you'd have to like... take the 2 and put them in front and then flip it over and go face up that way. Yeah. But this way we can just do the fancy reveal. Like this, all the way down. I'm pretty new to doing pack openings and box openings and stuff, so I don't know what the actual formula should be. But this is the way I've seen most people do it. And the next one, this has to be an extra rare. I'm almost a quarter of the way through the box. We're due. Oh, it is one! We did get the extra rare. It's another starter deck. Oh, it's another starter deck card. Check that out. Look at that. Oh, it's foil all over the all over the binding cloth, his scarf there. Check that out. Another starter exclusive. Oh man. And then ooh, the combos, it doesn't count towards progressive difficulty. That's pretty strong in our format. Like the entire the entire game right now is basically how many cards can you play, or like if you're not gonna one shot somebody, you're just gonna play a million cards. I think this is gonna be a staple, actually. It seems really like simple. It's just got like one effect, right? And it requires the combo, but at the same time its effect is like so good. It's so simple. And like Eraserhead, like all the characters who do weapons put speed on weapons. Check that out. You know, this is the one time where if they did the foiling on the scarf through the text box, I wouldn't complain. That'd be such a bitch. That'd be such a nightmare to do. If they actually just foiled it through the text box, I wouldn't care at all. Yeah, and then all the best attacks right now are low attacks. People are getting away with playing 8 low blocks in their deck. Not anymore, man. Set 3, I'm going to try and have more low blocks and high blocks, I think, just on average. Check that out. This might be my favorite foiling yet. It looks like it's straight out of a comic book panel, right? Like it looks like a comic book art. That's what we need next. We need the manga prints, man. I think it's a different license, but we need the manga prints. Hey, what's up, Chamber? How's it going? Oh, I didn't even pull my rare. Look at that. I was so hype on the extra rare, I didn't even pull the rare. The extra rares, for those of you who are new, the extra rares are where the money is. Because you can get any card in a foil version with the extra rare version of it. So any common card, any uncommon, any starter deck card, any rare, ultra rare, you can get as an extra rare. And so like people who want to bling their decks out, max rarity of their decks, it's extra rares. Those are like the chase for like every card almost. You know, people are like, I need 4 copies of this common, but in foil. They're gonna have to hunt down all those extra rares. I think I haven't seen a card game where they don't have a Pringles issue, but it takes longer than most. I live in the desert, so that might change things. I get pretty lucky, like I don't have a huge humidity issue. So for me personally, if I put my foils in sleeves before tomorrow morning and put them in a binder, they're usually fine. I would say that like starter decks and DLCs, they might have a bit of an issue because they sit on shelves and stuff, but that's all up to the packaging. I don't know. I actually haven't opened a DLC in like almost since DLC 1 came out, so I haven't seen it too bad. Like coming out of the pack, I don't know. Well, we'll flip this over and see what it is. But oh, hardened uppercut, that's a rare. But if you see it like coming out of the pack, it's not too bad, right? Like you can pretty much see it disappear. But if you leave them out, if you leave them completely out, just unattended, yeah, they're gonna curl, right? I will say there was some issue. I did know somebody who like could track specialized sound waves in somebody's deck because they had like all XR sound waves and their XR sound waves were curled. So maybe there was like a set 1 XR kind of a thing. That was an extra rare of an ultra rare though, and the person also just, you know, riffle shuffled super hard, so all their cards were curved, but that one was like especially curved, so you should be careful. But I have not had curling issues myself, and I've not had like a stack of rares Pringle out on me. 1, 2, here we go. Yeah, the big thing for me is the curling's not too much of an issue because I'm not like a big foils guy most of the time. I love holographics. Like I love old school nostalgic holographic prints. I don't know if those are just like too expensive to do. I don't know why other people don't do those anymore. It's all foil stuff now. But I miss like the old holographic patterns and things. That's what I would love to see a return. It's just like the retro twinkling star holographic stuff, man. It seems kind of random, but it just looks so good. It looks so special. Ooh. I know with the foiling, you can foil the action part of the card, though, a lot better, so... Ooh, I only got 10 minutes before we're supposed to play Stud or Stinker. I need to hurry up through this. I'm getting too hype about the cards. Ooh, so manly. Check out the art. This is like a big upgrade, right? A big upgrade from the early set 1 art. We just got like a beautiful portrait. The Umi in the background. The passionate tears of a young boy wearing a backpack. The ability to... The ability to clock your opponent's card pool for daring to play the game. Oh hey Barry, what's up? We got the XR binding cloth Whiplash, I think it was. Woo. Yeah, so far this has been the best one. At least as far as like foils, it's an XR, all that stuff. Ooh, no chrome rare yet though. If there was a chrome rare, the stream would end because I'd be moving. I'd be moving to the hills. Y'all might never see me again. The chrome rare goes straight to the bank. Oh, Shigaraki, okay. Big full art character there. Oh, and the rare Lessons from Taiyaki. Check that out. He's stunned by some snack food. Pretty good deadlock effect, right? It's like a smaller version of Trey Sheet Cape. It's like Trey excuse me. It's like Trey Sheet Cape and Observant Student had a baby for the deadlock, and then it cancels your rival's next non-character ability. So I actually expect this to show up in a lot of decks. I don't know if it'll be good. I don't know if it'll be like meta defining, but people will try this card. Oh, the Chamber, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate that. That gives me a great excuse to plug my sub goal, just in case you want to punish me and make me play the worst character in the game at the next webcam provisional I enter, or I guess just like the next webcam event I play in it, I suppose, because we're all out of provisionals. But I will play Asui too if I meet a sub goal. So it is considered the worst character in the game, and someone has actually put a bounty out to make top cuts with it. So I figured that would be a good enough incentive. The real incentive is to actually just stream more. I need to just stream like every day, but we'll get there eventually. Jasko's helping me out, giving me some content. Much love to Jasko for sending me this box. Make sure you go to your pre-releases on October 14th. Go to play.mha.cardgame.com. I actually don't know. It's play.mhacardgame.com. I'll get the link in a minute. Oh, it's at the top. I actually got it on screen. Yeah, if you go to that website, you can sign up. If you're a new player, you can use my referral code ACE. You'll get 50 loyalty points when you sign up. Those 50 loyalty points can be redeemed for a free promo right then and there. You'll just get a free card, a free normally event exclusive promo. You can just get through loyalty points. Jasko rewards their players with loyalty points to redeem in case they couldn't get certain event exclusives, which is just a really cool system in general, and I don't think any other card game has ever done anything like it. And on that website, you can find stores to play at for your pre-release. You can find your locals, and when you sign up and you play in your locals, you'll get bonus LP with the referral code. So not only will you get a free card, you'll get a bonus just for playing the game, which is already a bonus for playing the game, to get free cards. Everybody wins. Everybody wins. Ooh, speaking of everybody wins, Talented Baker, the Sato rare. Ooh, check that out. He's nervous about his baking, and yet this card is cranked. It's actually so easy to activate. It's actually so easy. You just get +1 damage to everything. Okay, this is taking longer than I thought. Let me power through this. I'm gonna power through this a bit. If anyone has any objections to me just flipping the rares, let me know. because I do have to. I did schedule the chamber to play Stutter Stinker, and I don't know, you guys. We've seen enough of the commons, right? We've seen enough of. Oh, I just flipped it. I didn't actually mean to do that, but we've seen enough of the commons. Here's Command Pigeon Flock. This is gonna possibly be the new meta. Catarang plays. How does the LP system work? So the LP system works in a couple ways. One, you play in locals, you get loyalty points. Two, you play in regionals or provisional events like Premier Store Championships, things like that. Basically, any event that you play in that is officially sponsored through the website, you will get loyalty points. The other way to get loyalty points, I was going to talk about this at the end, but since we got the question, you can save your packs. I'm going to save every one of these packs. I'm going to send them back to Jasco in the mail in bundles of 30, and they're going to give me loyalty points so they can recycle these packs. They're actually going to do the work for me. They're going to recycle these packs for the environment, and they're going to give me free trading cards because of that. So for every pack you buy, for every pack you get, right? Like I get prize packs. When I play in events, they give me prizing in booster packs. I get to keep these packs, mail them in, and get free cards for it. So those are the two major ways to get loyalty points. Oh, thanks for the good luck. So real quick, we got Command Pigeon Flock. And Command Pigeon Flock might be the new meta because it gets to tutor up ally cards from our discard pile. So it's just a rare, but you can see with the it's a 4 high for 6, and then its other enhance is similar to Coda, or it's really good for the Coda lineup because it gets +1 damage for each ally in your card pool. So you can use this at the beginning or the end of your string, and it's still going to be really powerful, right? This is a opening attack, this is a finishing attack, and the ability to just grab any foundation you want that has the ally keyword and put it in your stage immediately, that ramp, like that could be huge. We might not have enough ally cards yet, but most notably it has the life symbol and it grabs study group leader. So Momo Yagirozos might be playing 1 or 2 of these just to like get their defensive engine online, and that is something I'm actually scared of. And then no extra rare. So Command Pigeon, the ally package, that's the one I'm looking out for. I'm probably not going to play it, but it could be just like absolutely an insane engine if it gets running. Alright, 2 cards, just in case there's an extra rare. Let's flip the second one, I guess, first. Wham! Nope. And then the rare is Tentacle Tactics. So, this is a divisive card in our community because it involves counters. Mezzo Shoji puts counters on his character and removes them for effects. I know a bunch of people who are not big fans of counters, but this is one of the only ways to get dupla arm counters back. So if you like having counters and counter management, this could be a really cool card. Other than that, it's got a defensive ability with Breaker, and it pumps damage for essentially no cost if you're going to be winning this turn. So very flexible card, but probably a Shoji only card, right? It's got a Shoji only enhance, but going to be pretty necessary if you want to maximize the value of that character. So the way that you determine Catarang, you asked, oh, why is my stream chat not on screen? What is happening? I just realized my stream chat's not loaded. I'm sorry, guys. You guys should have been there the whole time. That's my worst habit as a content creator. I had the window open, but it was minimized. Absolutely tragic. Yeah, so the Chamber TCG has the formula for you there. So when you play a card, you typically look at the difficulty and add progressive to it. For every card that's in the card pool, it gets 1 more difficult. When it comes to blocking, instead of difficulty, you're going to use your block mod plus the opponent's speed for the difficulty, for your base difficulty, and then you add progressive difficulty, you add other modifiers. There's a lot of modifiers to that check. There's like you can, like, ways to interact with it that aren't just speed and damage. So, but you're gonna, instead of using difficulty, you're gonna use speed plus block mod. And yeah, card is the cards you've played this turn, and there are cards that can leave the card pool. So one of the best ways to ramp your effects is to have cards leave your card pool, and then they won't count towards progressive anymore. So let's slide this in here, take these two off, and then extra rare? No. So if you look on the card right here, this top number with the arrow is the speed, and the arrow points to the zone, and then the bottom one is the damage. So this is the speed, this is the block modifier, this is the damage, the control, and the difficulty up here. Then our rare is Deku's Notebook. Oh my, you're just Sero. You're just Sero for the turn, baby. You just get to once per game, you get to look at their hand and change the zone. So if your opponent has one card in their hand, it better be a mid block, or now this attack is unblockable. You can only do it on your turn, so it is an offensive card, but it's got two Momo symbols. Momo's going nowhere, guys. Momo's going to win Worlds, most likely. Momo's probably actually going to win Nationals, and then people will adapt from there again. But there's so many good assets. Oh, I'll get this out here. Pull this out, and then extra rare. Oh, it is so sick. Okay, this is such a great card. This is the best designed card in set 3. This is actually the best designed card. There's so much good about this card that I could talk about for a long time, but it's got more than one ability. It has basically one sentence printed on it, and it can absolutely win you the game. It can win you the game on offense. It can win you the game on defense. This card is absolutely sick. I love that the foil is all over the engines here, but then also the glasses. Check out the foil on that. It's like just his engine legs and then the glasses. And then the rest of it, like the numbers, yeah. This is the best designed card in set 3. Actually the best card in set 3 design-wise. Maybe not power level-wise, but like so simple, so elegant, so versatile, so strong, like has multiple abilities that make you think how you want to use it. Just absolutely a wonderful card. So that's an XR, by the way. This is an uncommon. I've pulled more than one of this. This is just the extra rare version, right? This is the XR version. So very cool stuff. And then our rare is, oh, engine boost. Hey, look at that. Eat a card to eat a card. Back to back. This is an ultra rare. Check it out. It's like foil all over him. He's moving through time like the Flash. He's going so fast. And again, it's like there's like two directions on the foils. His glasses are foil again. Look at that. It's got like the foil on the anime lines going like where, like in the direction he's going. Then it's got like the diagonal foil, and then it's also got like the dust foiled. Check that out. I like that. And then make sure I didn't pull anything extra random. All right. Next pack. Let's go extra rare. Nope, there's a shoji though, and our rare is Friend of Animals. So this, right, this goes with Command Pigeon Flock. This card's super strong. It's going to put speed on Indiscriminate Shock, which is going to win people so many games. And it's going to give you momentum after it does that. So even if you survive the Indiscriminate Shock, you get to lose to the Command Pigeon Flock that comes after it, or the Home Run Comet, right? So this card is a big reason why I think Command Pigeon Flock might be real. Next up, we have extra rare slot. Nope. And then our rare is Extendo Hairstrike. Okay. This is another divisive card. A lot of people are really big on this one. You can make it really, really big by tapping your whole board. Spend 1 momentum to make it unblockable. Super late game. For any of you old heads out there, it's like a... Well, I don't want to say anything because I'm going to play Stutter Stinker in a minute here. We're almost done. I only got like a handful of packs. So this card can get really big numbers. You got to be careful, but it starts out at 3 damage. So you're going to have to put a lot into it. You're going to have to put a lot into it. Adjustable EX value is not to be snarked at, though. Like, yeah, you'll have to commit 4 foundations, but man, will it be worth it if it just wins the game. Rare. Oh, it's Recovery Girl time. Let's go. After I take 5 or more damage, gain 4 health. Absolutely great. So, like, we're talking about blocking in my chat right now, and they're asking, you know, so the lower the block mod, the better, right? This is a card that's going to be really good because you don't have to block on a speed plus modifier, even though it has a +1 mid block and breaker 1, so it's really good for blocking mid attacks. If your opponent sends an attack that's way too fast to block on a 2 difficulty, basically nearly unfailable, you can just gain most of that life back. So this is going to be a really important card. And then if you have multiples of it and your opponent deals 5 damage to you, you can use both of them to go up 3 life net gain. So watch out for recovery time. It's going to throw off a lot of kill turns. And then that was, okay, yeah, no XR. Flip this over for an ultra rare. Oh, just a regular rare, but one with nature. This card is going to dominate. It's going to actually just obliterate boards. Discarding a card for +3 stats. It'll get effectively 2 speed that can't be reset, right? It can't be reduced. Encouraging Training Partner does nothing to this card. And then it gets +1 damage. And for each copy you have, it'll get +1 damage. So I imagine a lot of decks. I imagine a lot of decks, their win condition is going to be to get 3 of these out. And you discard 1 card, respond with all 3, and it's +2 speed, +3 damage effectively at great rate. Just a great rate for discarding a card. If you have multiple out. It's a good rate. It's really good by itself, though. No XR. Alright. Next one. Pull this off. Take these 2. Yeah, nothing extra. Alright, extra rare. Now look for Indenim. Hey, it is an extra rare. Alright. This might not be the most exciting card at face value, but these symbols wanted just to destroy 1 foundation cycle, right? We have a cycle of pop 1 foundation cards, and this one is a mill card. So it'll be interesting to see if present mics start playing this. And then our rare for this pack is, ooh, Confident Inventor. All right, Confident Inventor. A little rare, a little tutor, a little pick up an asset whenever you feel like it. I'm down for that. A little fake Momo action. And repeatable damage pump for a character that puts buckets of damage on everything. So, very cool stuff. Coming down to the end here. I only got 4 packs after this. 5 packs total. We got 5 more packs. 5 more packs. Here we go. Alright. Extra rare time. Nope. Regular engine trouble. If I got 2 extra rare engine troubles, how cool would that be? Alright, rare slot is Nullify. Let's go. Damn, let's go. Alright, Nullify is actually the best card in this set. You're only going to run like 1 or 2 of it, but this is your cancel. This is your negate. This is your counterspell. This is your... Like, realistically, in my opinion, I like to think of blocking as a counterspell. because I feel like your attacks damage, like attacks dealing damage is like their base goal line. But it is a more obvious parallel to have a negation effect be the counter spell. So this is going to be like the hard control piece that control players have wanted for so long. It is like the only way to cancel a character ability right now, pretty much. Yeah, I'm really excited to try this out. I'm really hoping that all the... Like, it's a very safe design. They played it very safe. But yeah, I'm excited to see if this can actually do something. The 3 difficulty, the staying in the card pool, the 4 block mod, these are all bells and whistles attached to an extremely powerful effect. And then if you have 2 momentum, it removes itself, which I love. I'm super fine with that. And then we cancel a character ability. So game-winning card. Game-winning effects right here. Actually super stoked. Gonna play the shit out of Nullify, even if it causes me to lose. 2 cards. Let's go extra rare, non-extra rare. Our rare is... Oh, we got Funny Punch! Hey, we can build the deck! Yo, someone tell J-Ray I can build the deck. We got Blood Moon Rending and we got Funny Punch. We just get to look at your hand and destroy all your mid blocks. You just go Villainous Waylay, something, Rending this. Check that out. Look at all the action lines behind her, right? Like all the... There's also, I don't know if you guys can see, there's like this circular dotted... It's not a chrome rare, but it's like, it reminds me of like a chrome pattern, like on a car almost. It's so tough to see, man. You guys should really see these. Go out and get some packs yourself. Crack like 5 or 6 packs so you can see what I'm talking about. The pattern behind her, like you can see like the white circles, but there's like these little foil circles that are not popping up. But they look so good. These actually look super good. I'm not the biggest fan of full art cards, but like these have been super good as far as like art to the text box. I'm down. We're making Funny Punch decks. Alright, 3 more packs. 3 more packs to go. Let's flip it over. Extra rare, nope. And our rare, whoa, our rare is, oh, no way. No way! Yo, we got a secret rare. First box secret rare. Hell yeah. Holy shit. I didn't think I was going to pull with like 2 packs left. Yo. So these are like 1 per case, I think. Someone tell me what, is it 2 per case? Like 1 per 6 boxes? Someone tell me what the pull rates on SRs are. I actually don't know. Oh man, I'm not like a big whale guy. I buy a lot of singles for decks, you know, just when I'm gonna play, and like 2 per case, yeah, it's, man, check that out. I thought it was, so to be fair, I thought it was an extra secret rare at first, but then it would have been in the extra rare slot, which is actually like the biggest money pool you can get, aside from the chrome rares coming up, right? Which, I guess I still have a chance to pull a chrome rare. There's still 2 packs. But this card is so sick. My chat is frozen. Oh, there we go. I don't know. My chat keeps like disappearing on me. It's very frustrating. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be a real streamer someday. Cattering Plays, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that. I'm glad the secret rare got the follow. The secret rare inspired the follow. Love that. Oh man. Yeah, so the secret rare is its own card, it's its own rarity, and then there's an extra rare version of this that would be like a full art extra foiling, and it would have, I believe, kanji writing. There's like these kanji symbols that would show up, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, this one's a 2-check. It destroys foundations, it shuffles and lets you look at the top. It does so much stuff. This card's gonna be sick. It's a lot of fun to play with in testing, so I'm excited for it. Let's get this popped out here. 2 more packs. do more. So extra rare is not there. Rare is UA high. Okay. So again, the ally package getting a huge buff this set, right? We talked about how at the very beginning, I did talk about how there's all kinds of support for older characters, but there's also new packages for new characters. Coda has like the most ally focused lineup, right? And this actually has all 3 of his symbols, if I'm not mistaken. I think he has life, right? Yeah. And so this picks up any ally card, right? You just go to school, you see all your friends, you're like, hey, classmates, I need some help. You just grab an ally. And so that'll be super important. And this helps you tutor up your discard pile. This actually helps you filter. So another key part of this upcoming ally deck archetype that might be really, really strong in set 3. And then last but not least, the pack that is guaranteed to have a chrome rare. It's guaranteed. I just know it. I can feel it in my balls. I'm going to get a chrome rare right here. It's going to be a Todoroki chrome rare. I can just feel it's going to be the Todoroki one. I think Todoroki is going to be the most popular one. Like I've seen more Todoroki fans casually in life than anyone else. Like it's so weird because I've not seen more than like the first season, I think. And I'll go out in public and they'll just be like kids sitting at a Panda Express with a Todoroki backpack. And my autism kicks in and I'm like, hey, do you like card games? You know, I don't actually talk to them. I don't approach children in public. But like the desire to be like, hey, I have a Todoroki trading card. And you're like, wait, you can't just talk to random strange children. You know? Like, I never thought I would be that guy. And all of a sudden I'm like, hey, My Hero Academia has a card game, you know? But yeah, if I pull the Todoroki one, that's got to be the best one. Oh, Todoroki's got a cool story arc. Okay, he finally overcomes the domestic abuse. He finally does he actually get like a, well, no spoilers in chat, I guess. I think Endeavor is the most interesting character. I know why everyone hates him. Not a good person. But I actually think Endeavor in like that very Vegeta #2 to the main hero kind of way. I think Endeavor has some of the more interesting stuff. So I will say that. I'm also a major fan of the Prominence Burn scene. I love that. I have seen that like on YouTube by itself, standalone, pretty much. So, anyway, let's open. This is the last pack, and then we'll play Stutter Stinker. Let's. Oh, I forget which one's the rare or the XR now. Oh no, alright. I don't even know if Chrome Rares come in the rare slot now that I think about it. They might come in an extra rare. I'm going to flip this one over first. Just in case, so. Come on. Todoroki Chrome Rare, Todoroki Chrome Rare, Todoroki Chrome Rare. Ha! Oh! Okay, alright. I thought it was Aggressive Clash again. Haha, it's an ultra rare though. Alright. Alright, there we go. We got ourselves a stun grenade. This card is gonna be insane. Really big. So it gets like a really big stun rating by removing cards from the card pool, and then you can mill 3 cards and get a fury attack, which seems really good, but I whiff on that all the time. Historically in our game, those effects are not good at all. However, this card does like 4 other things, so it's gonna be fine. You're gonna be okay with like stun for a bazillion and powerful 2 on it. You'll be alright. Yeah, and this is the card that got the Facebook page taken down. Let's just appreciate the explosion foils. Check that out. Foiled right in his hand, right? Everything behind him. So shiny. Damn. Very cool stuff. Alright, this is it, guys. I need you there with me. When I flip over this Chrome Rare, we all need to pog out. We all need to go crazy, okay? I need every emote you got. I need every I need every emoji you can muster. Because we're going to pull this Chrome Rare, and it's going to be the sickest thing of all time. You'll make me play Asui too if it's a Chrome Rare. If it's any Chrome Rare or if it's the Todoroki one. Because I have been calling the Todoroki one just because I think it's going to be... I think it's going to be the best one. What do you guys think? Any Chrome Rare. Last card in the packs. It would be in the extra rare slot. Absolute last card of this box. Once again, thank you to Jasco. Go to your pre-releases. They start October 14th. If you don't know when one is, you can look right up there. Play.mhacardgame.com. They have store locators. You can find all your local events. You can use my referral code if you're brand new to the game. Play as soon as you play in 2 local weekly level events, you'll get bonus LP on top of the free cards you get. Okay, I'll stop stalling. I'll quit shilling. Actually, use code plugin. All right, I'll stop shilling. Let's go. Chrome Rare. I don't want to look. I'm just gonna listen to the chat. I'm gonna let the chat tell me. Let's go. Oh wait. Oh, it's an extra rare. Okay, I saw the foil. I saw the foil and I got crazy. It's still a full art foil though. Holy shit. Okay. I appreciate the support, Chiefs 27. Oh man. Also, the Chiefs had a really close game against the Raiders. I'm from Vegas, but fuck the Raiders, man. I'm a Mahomes fan. Patrick Mahomes is the shit. Not Chrome, but XR Brandish Steel? Come on. This might actually be the best looking XR in the game. Look at him fucking moving. He's moving. You got the nice like crimson with the dark foreground on like the bloody background. And check out the bottom with the ooh. Hell yeah. Check that out. So let's talk about these right quick, just because these are the 2 best. You tell me, chat. Chat, you tell me which one's better. Which one's the best of the XRs? Which of these do you guys like more? Let me get them both in the screen here. Whoa. Yeah, I think I actually like Whiplash the Whiplash a little bit more. Only because like the action is like coming towards me, right? Like he's like mid attack versus like about to strike. Ooh. That's pretty good. I think he means 13 cents. So Himiko Toga is actually the best character in the game right now, Kattering. She is literally the best character in the game pound for pound right now. The thing is, all the character cards are common or promos that you can get. So like, or uncommon, so they're not in all your packs. So Toru Hagakure is an uncommon. You can't really see it on my shitty camera, but the main thing is people like the XR versions of characters. All the character cards come in XR versions. But as far as Toga goes, she is literally the strongest character who just won the last regional event this past weekend by beating the deck that has been destroying the format. Momo Yagirozo won like every regional event for season 3 and I think the end of season 2 and was like finals in one for season 2. Like she was like made every grand finals like 5 out of 6 events in a row or something. And Toga just came through and absolutely obliterated her in the finals. If you want to check the VOD out for that, I casted that event. It was pretty awesome to see. And tomorrow, while I have the chance to plug before we get the chamber on, tomorrow you can come here again and see Jose Narono on Orange Card, Blue Card, my podcast. We're going to have Jose on and we're going to talk about the Toga deck that Christopher Bromley and him built. Well, I guess Chris built it and Jose played it. All the unfun stuff guys have been playing it. And just how like Toga was a huge part of the early format, and now Toga is actually like the best character in the format. But this format's about to change really quick with all these brand new cards, so you gotta jump on the Toga train pretty quick. Alright, let's shift gears a bit. Let me get everything set up for the homie to come on in here. Let me copy this over. We're going to get things set up. So who here in chat knows what stutter stinker is? Do you guys know? If you don't know what stutter stinker is, let me know in the chat and I'll explain it for you. Let me know if anyone's confused on the concept. If you don't know what we're playing, let me know. I will help you out. I'm here to help. Yeah, the character cards are just easy to get. Oh, we got a first-time chatter from Brogy. Brogy, Stutter Stinker is the game show where we're going to show cards. Typically, it's from a different game. So, like, if you're a Yu-Gi-Oh player, you would be looking at Magic the Gathering cards or maybe Pokemon cards and trying to guess if that card is a staple or if it's just, like, a bad card. Usually they're overhyped, right? Usually they're the ones that people thought would be really good but then weren't. And we have a unique kind of situation where we have the My Hero Academia card game, which has brought so many people into our beloved UNiVERSUS system. But we also have our older standard UNiVERSUS cards. We have a bunch of IPs from the past. So I'm going to bring one of our newer players on, the Chamber, and I'm going to have them try to guess whether older cards from UNiVERSUS pre-My Hero were very good cards or just not so great. It's so tough with our game too because almost every other deck, like almost every card, sees play somewhere. So people, you know, get hyped for any card out there pretty much. But I'm going to take a very, very quick break. Or actually, I don't think I need to. Maybe I do. I'm going to take a very, very quick break. I'm going to be here the whole time. I'll be talking to you guys. But I'm going to get the stream set up for the Chamber so we can get them in here, okay? I will be right back, folks. I'm actually not going anywhere. You're just going to not see me for a minute. My advice is always to buy singles, Cattering. I'm always the buy singles guy. However, as you saw with this box, there are some great chase rares. You know, you have the chance to pull stuff that might buy your whole box back. Typically, the money is in XRs, and you're not going to get XRs from buying singles. So, you know, theoretically, my box probably paid for itself if I sell just the extra rares and my secret rare. Like, and I don't know for these cards, there's no market. I'm saying, like, in theory, if you sell just the XRs and, like, a secret rare, you should be able to more than make your money back on any box. If you have good XRs, the XRs alone can do it. y'all. Trying to make sure we got the good quality. I just realized I'm talking over music, I'm sorry. It's probably really annoying for people.
What's going on? All right, let's see here.
Hey, how's it going?
We're going to mute your stream.
So one of the things you can do, actually, if you want me to just send the recording later, is through OBS, I think you can do a virtual camera. If you're familiar with that. So if you want your green screen, you can do the virtual camera. And then in Discord, you can just set the input. Instead of being your camera, it'll be virtual cam. And it should
I've already seen that as like a feature. I just don't know how it works.
Yeah, so if you have...
It's no biggie. It's no biggie. I'll just take the recording later.
Yeah, I've rocked the
it's no
biggie before.
yeah, it's no biggie. We can just laugh at me.
Alright, so let me get this set up. Everyone can hear us, by the way. Just so you know, we are actually audio live. I have music playing, but I don't know how to separate Discord through the desktop audio, so we're doing it real jank today.
It's alright. Well, he sets that up for anyone who doesn't know. I actually primarily do written content for this game. So I come from Dragon Ball Super. I'm really into deck building, and DBS kind of went in a different direction where it's very archetype based now. And I'm a huge fan of the show. If you guys were in chat, you saw me talking about, again, no spoilers, but like the Endeavor story arc is just like chef's kiss. It's some of the best like story writing, just period. So this was like an easy sell for me because I love the deck building and I love the gameplay. But I'm largely unfamiliar with all the cards from before MHA. Like I've looked at some of the characters, and I had like a structure deck like a long time ago, like a long time ago with like Ilo Ryu. Like I basically know nothing. Like so it's gonna be kind of neat to see how these older cards shape up in, to a more modern player.
Yeah. So two things. One, good news. My green screen settings kind of work for your green screen, so it doesn't look too bad.
Well, that works.
Two, that makes you pretty much like the perfect contestant for this, right? So let me ask, how long have you been... I'm going to switch us over so we're live while we're talking. There we go. So how long have you been playing UNiVERSUS, the system, at all?
Well, that doesn't look at all. God, when did Set 2 drop? I guess like 5 months ago. I technically started looking at cards just before Set 2 was a thing.
Okay, so right before Crimson Rampage.
Yeah, I'll put it this way. So I'm subbed to Tam. Tam is the guy who ultimately got me to like go the distance. Yes. And I'm subbed to him. I just had my 6-month sub-anniversary. I think I was subbed to him for like a month and a half before I started. So that makes it what, 4.5 months, I guess. Yeah. So not very long.
Okay, perfect.
But I've gone all completely all in. I basically have a master set, including all the promos. Like I said, my flamethrowers, waylays, all those jazz just came in. So,
nice.
Yeah,
I love that.
I mostly do written stuff. Like event coverage, card reviews. I think a game like this deserves and has a lot of room for like good written content. And right now, as far as I know, there isn't. So if any of you guys ever see me posting a main group, that's usually what I cover. Starting with Set 3, I plan on doing some video stuff, deck reviews, card reviews, event coverage, stuff like that. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Perfect. Okay, yeah. So that's That is like the perfect time frame, I think, because the last guest had been playing since set 1. You know, that's when they jumped in. And so now we have someone who jumped in with set 2. So have you played in any competitive events, any provisionals, regionals, or watched any, I guess?
Right. I've watched plenty. As far as playing goes, right now, it's really tough for me because I work night shifts. I'm in California, so I work 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., and my job can actually force me over to go from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. afterwards. So between night shifts and the unreliability of like when I actually have free time, it's very tough for me to compete. I'm looking at going to day scheduling, so I won't get held over as more often, and I'll be more free for events. So I think starting in set 3, I'm going to start like playing at least somewhat regularly too. Right now, I just jam a lot of games on Tabletop Simulator.
Awesome. Yeah, I love Tabletop Simulator. It has been a just wonderful tool. Man, it changed my life actually in such a crazy way, because Tabletop Simulator made it so that us as a community were able to stay together throughout COVID, like most communities, but just in general, it allowed us to feel bigger for the first time. For years, it was like I have my crew of like 10 to 15 people, and there's a crew out there of 10 to 15, yada yada. And for the first time, we could just casually be a group of like 200 people, and it was awesome. So
yeah, it definitely changed a lot for everybody.
I'm also a big fan of try it before you buy it, right? Like, you know, getting stuck with cards that you're trying to flip. You know, I bought into Flesh and Blood, and then like 2 or 3 months later was like, the deck I really liked and did really good at my locals just doesn't function outside of that capacity, you know? So I just was like, all right, I'm a locals guy.
I'm definitely not. I'm a huge whale. When I decided to get into this game, I may or may not have just bought 4 of every freaking card. You know, okay. I may have just bought like a total master set from Pro Play Games. I will neither confirm nor deny that story. Okay. But yeah.
So
yeah.
Before we get started, let me ask you just 2 quick questions. Are you a Magic the Gathering guy?
I'm very familiar with Magic. I've played many sets of Arena. I played a little bit for the most recent Kamigawa block. Nothing super seriously. But yeah, I've played a lot of Magic in my life.
How do you feel, just really quick, we won't get into it, but how do you feel about the Magic 30th anniversary stuff? As a whale, right? Like as someone who's down to whale? Because it's very valid if it's a product people want. It's very valid.
As a guy who's down to whale, that's a product who's aimed just at me. I don't want to get too into like the not the extended list, but the cards they said the reserve list, and like stuff even kind of in that direction. Like I'm just not a fan. I think there's better ways to do that. Like I think whales will buy that, but yeah, I don't think it's a good product.
Yeah,
that's my 2 cents.
The biggest thing that got me is like the modern card frame just kills it for me. So even if I was the type to buy fake proxy, not real or legal cards, then I still would want the one that looks original. So
for sure.
But let's jump into the game. So you are familiar with the game Stud or Stinker, and for those of you who are just now joining us or are unfamiliar, I'm going to show. Do you want me to refer to you as the Chamber, by the way, or do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm not picky. My real name is Richard Cruz.
Okay.
I'm not picky about identity. The Chamber was actually made more sense back for Dragon Ball, because for anyone who doesn't know, in the Dragon Ball universe, the characters have this thing called a hyperbolic time chamber they can go into, and they get a year's training in a day. And all my deck profiles, I do this thing where I sit down at the end and talk about what you can do to win the matchup if you're like playing against it. And the whole idea is you like watch the video and you come through and you see the cards and you walk out knowing significantly more about how the deck performs and how to like actually win the matchup. So it was kind of like you got your like year's training in a day. It's a little harder to do that with my hero, so I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to translate that yet. But
I love that. I actually love that. You have like a synergistic name.
Yeah.
I just picked out one of my favorite card names, and it sounded like a good name for a highlight show, which is what my channel started out as. It was like highlight clips that I would go and hunt down and edit, and so that was mine.
It just grew from there.
Okay, so also thank you, by the way, for putting together the My Hero tier list. I saw that you're the one who posted that in the Discord, so that saved me a ton of time.
You're welcome. Yeah, it took a little bit of time, but it was worth it.
So we're gonna jump right into it. I'm gonna pop a card up on the screen here. Do you have the stream open? I just realized I don't have it showing through the Discord.
The stream open and muted, so I'll be like 10 seconds behind or something, but nothing major.
That's fine. I will blab for 10 seconds, and then hopefully you'll be able to read out the card. So I'll show the card. You will read the card out for the chat for us, and then you can ask me one question. The only thing you can't ask me is if the card was played in any way, because that is the point of the game, right? That is whether or not these cards were played. So anything else you can ask, like about the format. You can ask about like what character it was in, you know, any other questions that come to mind. Just nothing about if it was played in certain types of decks or anything like that, because that's kind of the game.
Yeah, honestly, I'm glad I even get a question. I wasn't planning on getting that because you don't always get one, so I'll take it.
Well, yeah, so I always get weirded out because sometimes I watch it and like the Magic the Gathering player will be explaining to the Yu-Gi-Oh players like, oh, well, this is what mana is and this is what this keyword means. And other times they're just like, yeah, is Ancestral Recall good or not? You know, so it's all over the place. So I figured one question, you know, because I will say this, there are cards that were legal for like 6-7 years, right? Like Yu-Gi-Oh has like no rotation. Our game has very loose rotation, and a card that was insane in one format, of course, might have been a stinker for years, and vice versa. So
yeah, and then like something changes and all of a sudden it's great for like 6 months or something, or vice versa. That's how that always goes.
So the qualification to be a stud is going to be won a major event, was like a key feature of the deck, or was good enough to get banned or errata in some form or another.
So was banned, was errata, got top cut, or was in a deck that got top cut, basically.
Yeah, or
was a key part of the strategy.
Yeah, was a key part of, because there are some times where a card like makes it onto a deck list, and after the event, the person's like, "This card sucked. I would never play it again." You know,
but
so,
that still counts as a stud though, because it still got there.
Well, yeah. So I'm gonna say it has to be a major part of like their winning deck list.
I got you.
Yeah. So it won't be too hard. It won't be like I've got nothing that's like towing the line in this one. So let's jump into it. I'm wasting everyone's time. Let's go with the first card.
I'm into it.
So it's going to take a couple seconds for you to get up there, but it is called Mysterious Mr. X.
Yeah, Death Evil Water. It's a spam fortive. Once per turn, discard one card, add one foundation from your discard pile to your stage, and then destroy it. Oh, man. Okay, so this is a rare. Was there a character who cared about actively just having foundations destroyed on these symbols? There's my question.
Yes.
Okay.
I will say that all of the Dr. Wileys have either just have cared about destroying their own foundations.
Got it. I'm gonna say that this was a stud. I think if you had the right foundations that either cared about coming into play and then leaving, you could get a lot of value out of this. If you had a character who cared about that effect, you could get a lot of value. I think the potential is there for this to be a stud.
Okay. Would this be a card that you would play in any My Hero deck that you've seen?
Oh man, that's $1 million question.
Does this look good enough to play in My Hero, right? Because you've got the Bakugo cards on death that like care about leaving the stage and care about entering the discard pile.
It might be a little limited right now in My Hero, but I think that's a card pool problem and not a power level problem.
Yeah, absolutely. So, stud, final answer?
That'll be my final answer.
All right. The answer is stud. You were correct.
Yeah, we're 101.
Mysterious Mr. X was really cool for two reasons, actually. One, there are a bunch of cards that care about leaving the stage, being destroyed, but there's also a lot of cards that care about entering your stage. So you also get build triggers, and so There's cards like Breaking Bread, which said when it entered your stage, you get to add a card from your card pool to your momentum. So you get to like ramp your card pool in ways like that. And then on top of that, our game, the top of your discard pile matters, right? We're not allowed to rearrange our discard pile. And so you can...
I guess that's true, yeah.
You can tutor the top part, the top card of your discard pile as well. So,
I didn't even think about that, but that's true. That is also a thing that you could do with it.
Yeah, so this is definitely a stud. Now this is probably the only one that would come close to towing the line, and why I brought it up first, because I don't know if this won any super majors, but it definitely won some events. It was in top cuts on its symbols, and it has so many great and cool combos that if I called this a stinker, the community would hate me. So
got you. Yeah, like I said, like as far as my hero goes, it feels far more about like a card pool issue than like a card quality issue. Like with the right other cards, I could totally see playing a card like that, especially as like a spam foundation.
Yeah,
right.
And we have
accurate. Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, real quick. We have first-time chatter, Tim Freedlead. Love Tim Freedlead. Also mentioning Hi-Fi Stereo, one of the most busted cards to actually run with this because it was unique, and when it entered the stage, your opponent discards a card. So
yeah.
Yeah, you can essentially like 1-for-1, I discard, you discard kind of a thing, and yeah, so very, very cool card. Next up, we have Accurate Arm. Let the folks know what Accurate Arm does.
So it's a 2 difficulty foundation, 5 check, Chaos Death Order. First form commit. Choose a block zone. If your opponent attempts to block this attack with a block of the chosen zone, their control check to get that block gets minus 3.
Minus 3. Yeah. So it's a first enhance is the first enhance that you have to do.
Yeah, the water making made that look a form. Okay, it makes more sense. So it's an enhanced commit.
It is a little stretched. I had to stretch the images to fit the screen a bit.
Gotcha. Opponent attempts to block this attack with a block of the chosen zone.
If Jasko wants to send me like high-res images with no watermarks, call me up. I'm here.
Yeah, this is so tough. I don't think I even like what the question like for this should be. Like in another like with a lot of extra steps, this is just like commit for like +3 speed with like a condition attached to it. Like, and in general, at least for like my hero, that would be like an incredible effect. Like, and it's actually better than that because it hacks their block check or hacks their block modifier as opposed to hacks their check. So you can't even interact with it with speed aid. They pump speed.
Exactly. So like it sounds a lot like +3 speed, but it also affects cards like plus ultra, right? If there's a card like that, and it's very similar. The reason I chose it's very similar to the new Shigaraki attack, right? Where it says if your opponent tries to use a mid block, it gets -3. So this you can apply
Death Assault. Yeah,
you can apply this to any of your attacks.
I don't think this card is in. Okay, so if this card was in my hero, I would totally play it. But like, it's just like, what if they just like half block it instead? Now, and this is like a thing that I've heard thrown around. I know there's also less block modifiers in like not like in like my hero. Every card has a block, but like I know that wasn't always the case.
So if you look at Accurate,
like case in point, Accurate Arm doesn't even have like a block modifier on it. So like. I mean, like, if you... I'm gonna say that this is, like, a stinker. Like, I don't even take my question, but I'm just gonna commit to it, like...
Okay. So, you did say this is a card you would play in My Hero, but stinker is gonna be your final answer?
Yeah, I would like this more in a format where I know every card has a block zone. I could play around it. Maybe there's a character that does, though. This is actually really freaking hard.
Yeah, it's got a huge number on it, and like think of how often you actually partial block attacks. Like how good does it feel to partial block an attack in general? And don't forget, you still have one question you can ask about it.
Like if I have like a question, I mean like.
So
okay.
I will.
In the formats when this card was played, was there a card seeing play similar to? Like plus ultra or evade and copy or like something that would like that you could use this to maybe like hard punish like
Oh,
You know, if you just really didn't want to get hit with like a, I guess like a plus ultra equivalent. I don't know.
That is a very, very good question. So there are cards I know of that are similar to evading copy, and I don't think anything that would be similar to plus ultra came around until a couple years later. So there are cards that are reduce the speed to 0 when they block, but it was 2 or 3 years later, but still legal at the same time. And there are cards like evading copy that returned it to printed speed.
Man.
So
all right. So honestly, this is where I'm at. Like the issue I have here is I think this is like a decent card, and the cut for stud is so high. Right, like it has to be like a top cut, like to me this is like a good card but not a great card. But I have to pick between one of these, and it's around for a long time. Oh man, I'm gonna change my vote. I'm gonna lock in stud, and that's gonna be my final answer.
Stud? You're gonna go straight to final answer? I was gonna make it a little harder for you and point out that it does have a Cero symbol, right? So like Cero 1 loves when you partial block, so this could be the kind of thing that pushes you off of that. But
it's an order thing or a Cero thing. But again, you have a much deeper card pool than I do. Yeah, that's gonna be my final answer. I'm gonna go with stud again.
Stud again, okay. Stud final answer, and the correct answer is indeed Stinker. This card is actually a stinker. I don't think I ever saw this card sleeved up a single time. If if this card was out there in someone's deck, I did not see it. I picked this card though because when I first started playing, I thought it was insane. To me, the idea of -3 to a check sounded better than +3 speed. I didn't see anything giving +3 speed like on Foundations at the time, so I wanted to play it, and I never found a deck for it.
That checks out. Like I said, like if there's a card with those in my hero, it would be great. But like we have a very different card pool because you could turn off things like Face Shield, right? Like Face Shield's all over the place. Like being able to just be like, no, your Face Shield is a +6. I mean, like that's why Tape Swing is a great attack right now because you literally can't block. Like you leave it on a mid and they can't Face Shield you. Like, or even like Wall Cling for that matter. I was playing around Wall Cling too. Yeah, but yeah, that checks out.
The other thing is that you can choose a different zone, right? Like, let's say you play a low attack and you know your opponent only has mids, you can actually just say your mid block is worse, right? Like, so it seems super versatile, and I think you're right. I think if this was straight up printed into my hero, you could just win with by denying plus ultra block with it, and it would be like a sideboard card at worst.
Yeah, it would be at worst. It would be a sideboard card for decks that you saw. Like anytime you saw the life symbol. Yeah.
Yeah. Straight up. I love that.
All right, that's how it goes, right? That's how it goes. So we're 1-1.
1-1. Oh, I forgot to do the scoreboard again. I'm the worst.
It's okay. I will keep track. I believe in myself. 1-1.
Next,
should have gone with my gut on that.
Next up, we have a big boy. It is Phoenix Revival.
Okay, this is a 7 difficulty attack. What the actual shit? Alright, so this is a 4 mid for 8, breaker 2, powerful stun 2, destroy an asset, cannot be blocked by foundations, so that's a big deal actually. All your blocks come off foundations. 6+ check, deals damage, commit your opponent's character basically.
Yep, it does say commit 1 card, so it can be the character. That's a very astute observation. So, what's your first impression seeing this card?
The only thing I'm iffy about it is it being a 7 difficulty. Like, if this had a 6, I would be like, oh, like Windmill Slam Stun. The only thing that has me kind of iffy is like this is a 7. Like, and like obviously you have to play it like in a strategy built around assets, but I'm sure there's I'm sure there was characters that could trivialize that cost. Stun 2 means it's really more like a 6 mid for 8. Like it's got a strong breaker. Like there's just so much that's so good about this card. Like the only thing that's iffy about it is that 7 check. If you had like a deck or a character that could trivialize or minimize that 7 check. All right, I'll put it this way. I know if this card came out right now in my hero, like I'd be all about it. Like
Yeah.
at least on like certain characters. So like, I'm gonna go with my gut on this one and say that this is a stud card. Like it might be like a sideboard stud card, but like hopefully that actually this is like a rules question. If it was like a thing that was commonly sideboarded in top strategies to address certain things, does that count as a stud or a stinker?
That's
important.
That's a very good question. Our game, I'll say this. I don't think our game has ever had a real silver bullet card. I don't think there's ever been like a card where you say, I side this in, I win this matchup.
That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Right.
So, there definitely
Blood Crow comes close, but yeah.
There definitely have been cards that people are like, I'm sideboarding this for a singular matchup, but like, there's no Dragon's Claw where it just keeps out like a red deck, right?
Sure, the game's not built that way, so that's a good thing. Yeah, I'm still gonna go with stud. I think like with like the right character that could like make this like efficient attack, put some speed on it. Like even with the 6+, like there's some heavy checks here, but I'm sure if we had characters that like wanted to be making big checks or something, like there's got to be a world where this is a stud.
Okay.
I'd be amazed if this was a stinker.
And it's got very stud art, right? This is some sick art.
Yeah, and like it's a starter exclusive card, which means like honestly, this is like looking at like the rarity of the bomb. This is probably like, if I had to guess, was probably like the foil on like some starter deck, and maybe like the character gets to like play crap for free or something. I don't know, but yeah, that's gonna be my guess is stud.
Stud final answer?
Final answer.
All right, this card is a stinker. Unfortunately,
Really?
7 difficulty, just a bit too much. And then it kind of has a hoop to jump through for every single ability. Assets weren't that popular back then. They weren't like as pushed as they are now, is what I would say. There were definitely some really good ones, but those are not the ones you'd want to destroy. And then on top of that, it's like powerful 1 isn't that effective by itself. Having to check a 6 was not the most common thing back then, and then it still has to deal damage. And I think the biggest thing is, when I first started playing and seeing cards like from around that time, this is a little like right before me, but check hacks were pretty popular. So like a character that has -3 to your check, like a Stain, would basically say you could never just casually play this.
Man, it is crazy to me how different card, because like, man, if we played that that card would totally see play right now in my hero, right? There's like absolutely.
I think it was very hype when it very first dropped, but again, just there's so many little things that don't really add up to like for example, this card has like stun 2 is like the only thing that you can reliably do on it. If you just play it as an attack, everything else you have to have something else go right. Compare that to like a back alley haymaker that just has more upside going, right?
Well, that's true. I think you'd have to have like a deck that could play around those. Yeah. Like you wouldn't jam that. Like haymaker goes in every deck on all of its symbols. Like that card definitely wouldn't. But okay.
Yeah, and there's definitely a world where Phoenix Revival is like a 4x game-winning staple. I just haven't lived in it yet.
Got you. And clearly, I haven't either.
So next up, I have the first ever time I've done this, and I was a little worried about doing this on the first one, but I have a character card coming up for you. So,
oh man, we're playing hardball.
We've got Gabrick 2-Dot. Now let me know if you can't read it. It might be a little tough to read on the screen.
This is 26 health, Earth, Life, Void, Enhance. Command a Foundation. If your attack is not blocked, it gets a bunch of damage. So he's a throw. He's got to be a throw character. Okay, response. After your throw attack deals less than its printed damage gained to. Oh, 1 second. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Yeah. Yeah. So while he's taking care of that, everybody, we've got Gabrick 2-Dot here. This is actually the second.
I got food here. I'll be back in like 1 minute. I'm gonna grab a snack and a drink. I'm sorry.
Nope, it's perfectly fine. I can kill time. So we've got Gabrick 2-Dot here, which Gabrick is one of the Red Horizon original characters. This is from Jasko's own IP, Jason Horonsky original. And so there was a first version of Gabrick who I believe flipped your foundations, and he like gave I want to say +1s and -1s, something like that. I actually don't remember. I think I'm getting him confused with Caden. Tim Freelieb, if he was here, would probably be able to help me. But yeah, so this is the second version of Gabrick, and I love that he immediately noticed that it's a throw character, right? Like, he looked at it and went, this is probably a throw character, and then the very next ability references throws. So, very, very astute observations. We've got some really smart new players. It just goes to show that there are translatable skills, right? Like, from our card game to others. As hard as card evaluation can be for us, it just goes to show that some things are translatable. Chat, what do you think? What do you think, chat, while he's grabbing his food, while he's grabbing his snack? Do you guys think that Gabrick 2 is a stud or a stinker? I'm also going to plug the socials real quick. Hey, we're back.
Yeah, and I'm back. All right, so I have a drink for now. I'll wait to eat later. I've got a Coke for now.
We were about halfway through. It won't take too long.
Sweet. Commit foundation. Attack is not blocked. It gets damage. After it does less. So you're either blocking. He's a clearly throw character. So you're either blocking throws and giving him health back, or you're not blocking throws and losing like half your health total on every throw. But he commits out his own board and his health total's a little low. Man, but all he needs is like, oh god, this is tough.
So I love that you picked up on him being a throw character before even reading the word throw on him. Like, that is such a huge pickup, I think, immediately. And I was just telling the chat, Gabrick is an original IP character for Red Horizon. He's actually a Jasco original. So he's not like from an anime or any other game. This is like the closest thing that they have to a core set are the Red Horizon sets. Those are like the sets that they put out in between IPs and usually have really generic blanket useful effects.
This is just so hard because like I don't like if he's in a if like all of it like the throws on his symbols suck, this character's terrible. But if with like, you know, if he's got good throws and even one symbol, he's like seems like at least a decent character. And I feel like asking if there were good throws on his symbols when he was around is too broad of a question.
You won't have to waste your your question on it. I will tell you that throws with his art on it were in all kinds of decks.
Then stud.
You're gonna say stud? Like just like that? That quick?
Just like that, yeah. Unless there was like other characters that just all played his cards better or something, like.
So stud final answer. I won't slow roll you here. I know you're waiting for food.
Nah, I'll do my final answer.
Alright, Gabrick was in fact, as a throw character that gains life, a stinker. It actually is literally as you said, other characters just played his cards better. The fact that the damage pump is conditional and the fact that it requires a foundation to be committed was just not as strong as generic characters that put damage on throws. And just before his lifespan, like just before he was printed, for a long time there was a character who just gained 2 life like Recovery Girl does for free, or would put like +2 damage on all of his throws for the turn. So he was basically doing the same thing better with less investment, but not as potent, right? Like not as extreme. So like just an overall.
I'm not gonna feel bad about that one because I did say unless there's a character that does his job better, he's a stud. So like I'm not gonna feel bad about that one.
Yeah, that one is definitely a really tricky question, even for people who might be familiar with the older cards, because Life and Earth had almost an entire archetype of characters just playing Gabrick throws, and they all gain life, and it's a super grindy style. And you could, same way with like the life good stuff that we talk about, like order decks, they're very interchangeable with their packages. That was kind of the case for Gabrick's cards.
What's really crazy to me about this is how good every card we've seen here would be in My Hero, and yet like they've almost all been like stinkers. Either like there's been better, like even better characters or cards, or like it just wasn't good enough. But right, like in My Hero, you would absolutely jam like, oh yeah, commit this this attack. Like, your track to block this attack, it's -3. Like imagine that at like Death Todoroki, man. Like that'd be so daunting. Like yeah, great. Like I can half block you and die, right? Like yeah, it's just interesting.
And he existed with like a weaker Faith Shield. Like the Faith Shields that were available were way weaker on worse symbols. So like Throw Hate wasn't super everywhere. I guess the biggest thing is the two major deck archetypes that were winning at the time were low throw, like slow grindy throw decks that are like chipping away at you regardless if you block. And usually gaining a bunch of life and like flipping your foundation so you have no options in the late game. Or decks that would send a 30 speed for 30 damage attack on your turn after you tried to attack them 3 times and you've already committed foundations. And so if Gabrick's committing for his cost, it's gonna kill him faster.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, so, just very different games. All right.
Yeah, Gabrick just being 26 health actually means he dies a little faster to one big attack. Like one big Detroit Smash style attack. He's basically saying, okay, well you need like 2 less momentum to kill me.
Interesting. Yeah, it's just a different game, I guess.
So the next card up is gonna be Feline Spike. Is Feline Spike a stud or a stinker?
For 7, okay, this is a 7 difficulty 1 check. This enhance had better be messed up. All right, multiple 2. So I'm trying to remember from like the very like little I've done like poking around, which is very little. Like this was like you could like burn momentum and make duplicates of this attack, right?
Yes. So the way that what multiple says is you can discard up to 2 momentum in the case of multiple 2. For each momentum you discard, it gets added face. The momentum you discard goes to your card pool face down, and effectively become blank copies of this attack. So it has no text box, but it has the same speed and the same damage.
Yeah, they're just blank for high 8s.
But it wouldn't have any of the other keywords. Like it wouldn't have multiple 2, of course, because then you could just multiple again, right?
That's that's true.
That would be nuts. But yeah, it's got 3 keywords.
Man, this is a 7 difficulty 1 check. Discard all preceding cards in your card pool. No more cards may be removed from your card pool during this combat phase. Like once again, this is like all we need is like 1 character to bust this. But see, this is like, I know, granted we don't have like, oh, what's reversal? That's another question.
Reversal is respond after you block an attack. Play this attack. So you would block with a different card. Like let's say you just you block with a foundation, then you would reversal and play Feline Spike during your opponent's turn after their attack resolves. But it would be like on an 8 difficulty in that instance. Plus whatever other blocks you've played.
Man, alright, so it's always tough about like cards like this is like all they need is like 1 home for it to be like good enough, but despite all that, like this is like a 7 difficulty move 1 check that you're incentivized to play like after. If you're playing this on like a 9 or a 10, like God, unless there was like
you do get to stun your opponent on their turn. You get to stun 2 on your opponent's turn.
Yeah, after playing this is like a 7 and committing at probably 2 of your own, like maybe more than 2.
It has a +1 low block. Come on, there's upside.
I'm gonna say this is a stinker. Like unless there's like a character that can like. If this card is a stud, it's got to be like in one particular like strategy that like just makes it like totally worth it. There's too many downsides to this card. I feel like for it to be a stud. I'm gonna go with stinker.
Stinker final answer.
Stinker would be my final answer.
All right. Well, we have had a bunch of stinkers, so it was only natural that we'd hit a stud eventually. This card was the premier win condition of many decks, specifically because if you do the math. The multiple 2 creates 3 copies of this card, and that is 24 damage by itself, plus whatever you can add to it. And at the time, momentum wasn't very difficult to get, so this is...
That's the condition that matters there. It's easy to get momentum. Okay.
Yep. I don't think very many decks were actually hitting you to get momentum at this time. My understanding of this format, people call it Grey Wars, because you would build 1 million foundations, and it would come down to who has the most cancels. It was a very control-based sort of a matchup, and this is probably the closest I've ever heard of to like a Magic the Gathering deck, where you have like 1 win condition card, and the rest is just control pieces.
That's... Again, as we said earlier, right? Like cards are like, because like even though reversal isn't like, or multiple of them that aren't keywords right now, like yes. I don't see you ever jamming a card like this in My Hero. Like, yeah.
If this was a card in My Hero, Denki 1 would be banned. Denki 1 would immediately win the game.
Denki 1 on air would be messed up, but that would be about it. Like,
yeah, this is like the reversal and the multiple means you can't ever check bad to attack me. If you ever check bad to attack me, you immediately just lose to Feline Spike, stunning you out and dealing 1 million damage. And yeah, it mostly comes down to free, easy momentum though. Like longer games where you build up and you just get the resources, where the 1 check no longer even matters, you know, unless they also have Feline Spike, which is why it was a Grey Wars Feline Spike sort of format.
Interesting. Totally different times. All right. So I'm 1-3 now.
Also important, the no more cards may be removed from your card pool protects the combo. It has self-protection. So, like, you could discard cards from, like a Forcing Surrender wouldn't work because multiples are still attacks. But if you had a card that discarded a card from your opponent's card pool, like a Suyu Asui 2 or a Sierra Enhance, you can discard those attacks and they go away.
I guess because they're only like face downs. That's like not even a thing we have to think about, right? Because multiple is not like a...
Yeah. So yeah, one of my favorite characters, Terry 1, discards a card from the opponent's card pool and gets damage equal to the control. And so one of his best answers to multiple was to reversal a multiple himself. And then he would discard your attack that hasn't started yet, and he never has to block it.
That's neat. Man, what a way different, like...
There's so many interaction points in this game. It is so interesting. Moving on, let's get to... Hired Muscle. This is from the Street Fighter set. This came out in 2016, I want to say.
Alright, so it's a 3 difficulty, 4 check with a 1 mid block. That's already really good. It's a rare. Commit a foundation, your charge attack gets a speed. Destroy a foundation, your combo attack gets a speed. Lose vitality, your punch attack gets a speed. Man, if Balrog is playing, like, charge punch combos, like... Okay, so I'm gonna cheat a bit, because, like, I've played my share of Street Fighter. I'm a Guile main, and I'm really stoked for Street Fighter 6.
Guile's been good in, like, every game, too.
Yeah, hey, he is always as good as much screen as he has left, you know?
Are you a hitbox guy? Are you a hitboxer?
I'm not.
Okay. Because I'm cool with hitbox until it's a Guile player doing it. Until he's walking forward, Sonic booming my ass.
Checks out.
So Hired Muscle, it's got 3 different enhances on it, and I will give you one for free. Balrog himself, all of his attacks were charge punch combo.
Alright, so was Balrog a competitive character? That'll be my question.
Absolutely not in the fucking slightest. He was maybe the worst character in the set.
Okay. Man, this card would be so good in My Hero too. Like there's like there's just a lot of charge punches. Just like commit or lose health for. But if Balrog's sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say similar to Momo Yagirozo, right? Like commit 1 foundation with rescue completed, then blow it up. You can do that all with Hired Muscle. You can commit 1, it gets 1 speed. You blow 1 up, it gets 1 speed, and then you can lose a life to get that 3rd speed. So very similar as far as card quality overall goes, and it's a +1 mid block. How many +1 mid blocks are in your deck?
Not as many. Even if Balrog sucked, if his attacks were good, you could just play them in better characters. And Punch, I'm sure, especially this was Street Fighter side, there had to be other characters that cared about punching, at least in some manner. It's like
it was the punch kick set.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the punch kick set. Yeah, punch kick and maybe throw.
There were some Hadokens and a couple Vega weapons, but yeah, mostly. Oh, Fury was all over that set too. Actually, Angry Eyes. I was surprised Balrog was not a Fury character personally, because he's always upset.
I mean, I guess you can't make him fight money gated, so you have to settle for Fury gated. But you're right; he should have been Fury gated if he wasn't.
I am excited for the future because we never had tokens or counters before, or no, we haven't had counters in Jasko era, is what I should say. And so the return of tokens with Mezzo Shoji makes me wish that we had a Balrog character that had fight money tokens. I want fight money counters.
That would be so sick. Fuck, man, this is so hard.
And then when he loses all your tokens, you can go, my fight money!
My money! Oh my god, even if I get this wrong, I'm glad we had this moment just for that. Shit, this is so tough. Like,
3 abilities, but it's 3 difficulty.
Yeah, but like this is also like if you're playing good attacks that this lines up into, this is just like +3 speed like on like every attack you play. This is gonna like this seems like a good combo piece, and definitely befitting of being unique because it would go over the top. It's a rare. It's a 4-check.
I will say this: now that we're deep into it, right, and we have had a handful of stinkers, I will point out at this point that historically UNiVERSUS, and especially like post Jasko era, they don't print bad cards. They don't print like chaff cards, and that's what makes this so tough. Is when you look at a card, it's always playable. Like I look at Magic cards and I go, "Huh, this is a draft card." Yeah, this is a draft card. Like this is pack filler. It is never intended to be fucking played anywhere but, you know, your tribal draft on this color. Like there's just so many cards like that, and because there isn't like a strong drafting environment, they do try to make every card usable, so don't get trapped by looking at no downside, right?
Yeah, and that's one of the strong things with this game is like you said it earlier when you were doing your pack opening, is this game is not really built for draft. And one of the nice upsides to that is that I mean, we have good cards and bad cards, but that band is much narrower. It's like a lot of like the bad cards are usually just too situational, or they're like in the wrong format. Like even like the stinkers we've had here would be great in My Hero, and a couple of the studs I don't. Fuck, this is so tough.
When it comes to draft, for me, the big appeal to draft is no symbol chaining. Is you can typically, it depends on where you're at, and it's been different throughout the years, but when you draft, you have a character and you can play all the cards on all 3 symbols, so you can draft like combinations that aren't playable legally normally. So
yeah, they're not like intended, so you can do some neat stuff that way.
Yeah, so that's the big appeal to draft in this game. And because there's not draft chaff cards, you get to make super awesome decks because of that, even in draft. But you have to break symbol chain to make that cool.
I should have asked you not if Balrog was good, but if his punches were good, right? Like that would have been the better question. I'm gonna say stud, because if there's like a good lineup of attacks and a better character to pair it with, like I could see this being like a core part of a strategy. So I'm gonna go with stud.
Stud final answer?
I think that'll be my final answer.
For Hired Muscle, Stud, the Balrog rare, is actually a stinker. At the time, committing and blowing up a foundation was a bit higher of a cost than it is now, I would say. And people would have to build out a lot more naturally. But you
don't have Precious Lesson?
Yeah, exactly. The Precious Lessons came later. There is a more powerful Precious Lesson, but it didn't come out until like 2020. So the big thing about this is it's 3 different keywords. it's charge attack, it's combo attack, it's punch attack. So to get all of this upside so consistently, and to match like the right cost, like you have to commit one and then blow one up to really make it effective, you were locked into all 3 keywords, which were basically just Balrog attacks.
Yeah, that's a carpool question, because like right now, like you could, like if you tagged out like punch with a weapon and made this like Eraserhead symbols, like Eraserhead would like love this card, right? Like
Yes.
because almost all of the stuff are like I have charge and combo, and then they're all weapons too. Like, but
Yep.
yeah, it's always so interesting to see how like how cards are like so card pool dependent, right? Like again, a card like this would be probably not in My Hero because we don't have enough targets, but like a card like this would be great in My Hero, but it's a stinker. That sucks.
Double Jab Pummel is like the only card that fits all these criterias, right, for every single one, and yet just meeting 2 of them would make it way more playable.
Yeah, it's only double jump on right now. That's true.
Yeah. So if you could actually manage to hit charge, combo, and punch on an entire lineup, or just draw all your double jab pummels, this card probably looks pretty sick. But yeah, Jiro would love this.
Yeah.
All right, we're coming up. Whoa. Hopefully no one saw that. Look away. Next up, we have Cathedral Standoff. This is from the Cowboy Bebop set, and this is also a starter deck card.
I almost don't even want to read it and say stud just because of this. The artwork is one of the most important moments ever. It's gonna break my heart. Like if this is a stinker. So it's a 5 difficulty 3 check with a 3 high block, 4 mid for 5, Fury Weapon. Discard 2 momentum. Your opponent loses 5 vitality with no condition on that. You can just kill people with that. And then Vicious Enhance, draw 2 cards.
Mm-hmm. So you have to be vicious.
So here's the real question. Was there a competitive Vicious character?
Yes, there's only 1 copy of Vicious, and it has topped at multiple worlds, I believe. I'm going to say multiple, but I know it's topped multiple events.
Man, I don't even know what Vicious does. I'm just gonna go with the thing that won't crush my soul. I'm not a big enough man to say this is a stinker. Like I don't know enough about Vicious, and this is a very narrow card. Like it would only be in Vicious. Like unless you had a character who could just snap a bajillion momentum, I guess. I'm gonna go with stud just because like I like what this card is doing, and it's like one of the most like impactful moments in the show ever. So I'm gonna vote my bias on this one and go stud.
You're gonna be blinded by the beautiful art. You're gonna take in the emotional vote.
I'm gonna absolutely take the emotional vote, and I would be crushed if this is a stinker. From a card mechanic, like drawing 2 cards, like if on a competitive character, I can't imagine a format where an attack that just slam an attack and draw 2 cards was like not already see at least some level of play. Like I just can't imagine being like in a world where there's so much card draw where like Pot of Greed is just not good enough. You know, we're out here playing like Ancestral Recalls left and right. I just yeah.
Well, stud final answer then? I have to ask. It's part of the rules.
Stud'll be my final answer.
All right. Cathedral Standoff is unfortunately a stinker. It is actually a stinker, and it's not because of Vicious being unpopular. It is because they started to print cards where you could draw 2 cards for cost. You could actually, at the time, have a 5 difficulty card that draws 2 cards for cost and can't be canceled.
There actually was just that much card draw where it wasn't necessary.
Yeah, and so this was played. This is kind of a line tower as well. This is the other one. This is the other trap card because immediately it was super playable. Immediately people played the shit out of this card because it says draw 2 cards.
Right.
But it did get not only power creeped out, but I personally was not seeing many Viciouses play this card after a certain point because the stats just weren't lining up. The card Coffee Samba, if you ever want to look that up, it is a 1 check that draws 2 cards for cost. And then your opponent draws 2 cards, but you then get stun and multiple equal to their hand size. So you can just stun their whole board out, and it doesn't matter if they have cards in hand. So This one is a little bit on the fence, but I am rating it as a stinker specifically because I've never seen the burn part be very effective, and the card draw aspect to me got power creeped out, and it was not even on my vicious list when I was playing him at Majors.
Wow, that's just insane to me that an attack that just draw 2 cards is like, nah, homie, that's dog shit. We can do way better than draw 2, bro.
Right, we can draw 2 and just take away all the foundations.
Like, not even like I know this is like a draw a bunch of cards game, right? We're like a draw 6 game, but even then, like, extra card draw is still powerful. Like, that's wild. Okay. And I've missed almost all of these.
And it exists in a world with reversals. So if you want to play an attack just for the sake of drawing 2 cards, you're actually opening yourself up to a certain amount of risk, which is a risk most people are willing to take, but it's just not the steamrolling kind of effect that it would be in My Hero. In My Hero, this card's practically ban-worthy.
It absolutely, yeah, it would absolutely be just like people bitch about back alley haymaker, right? And granted, back alley stuns too, but this draws 2 cards, like
right, yeah.
Like I guess it doesn't build 2 zeros, but still.
And yeah, if Cathedral Standoff had stun 2 on it as well as everything else, I probably would have never trimmed it from my vicious list. You probably would have seen it continue to be played, but by the end of Vicious's life cycle, by the time he was really topping events, this was like the card that a lot of people I talked to wish that they didn't actually run. But because it says draw 2, you're just going to jam this in your deck immediately and not think twice about it.
Yeah, at least on first game. Well, that sucks. All right, on to the next one. Hopefully there's a couple of these left I can get right, because I've missed almost all of these.
If you ever get a copy of it, though, it is a sick foil. It is one of the best binder cards of all time.
I'd look that up on TCG Player and see what it costs.
Yeah, I don't know, because it comes out of the starter deck. I don't know if that would inflate it a bit, but it would be easy enough to get one, right?
This is a 5 difficulty foundation with a 3 check. What am I looking at here? Psychedelic Dream World. Life Order Void. First form remove. Both players search the deck for a card, add it to their hand, then discard 1 random card.
No block as well. It does not block.
No block mod. It's a 3 check.
But it tutors from your deck. And I'll say this. Again, you have any question you want to ask, but I'll give you this info. Searching your deck is not very common in post-Jasco. This is a post-Jasco card. And searching your deck in general, not super common in this game. Searching your deck post-Jasco, almost non-existent.
It's a reciprocal effect. Like,
yeah, if you notice in My Hero, the only thing that searches your deck is the deadlock effect on price per piece, right? We tutor from our discard mostly. So this one searches the deck.
There is very little... Man, this is... Okay, so like, at face value, I just want to say stinker, because this effect is reciprocal. It counts as an attack. And you're not even guaranteed to get to keep the card that you search. If it was just a form, I could see it, because you could like shred your opponent's hand probably on Void if Void does then what it does now, like, and then play this.
It is a form. It's a first form.
That's what I'm saying, but it's a first form, so you can't even do that.
Okay, yeah. I want to make sure that you didn't think it was in the hands. That's all.
No, yeah, it's a first form, so you can't even do that. And it's a 5. Like, you have to play this like it's an attack, and it just fetches you an attack later. Like, the only way I see this being good is if there was some kind of like wild combo deck where like you just needed to find something to get a kill,
or possibly an alternate win condition where you just need like a single card piece.
Yeah, same idea.
Yeah, I guess that would still be a combo. It just, we're so used to combo attacks and like combo strings that
Yeah, that was a poor wording choice on my end. When I said combo, I was referring to combo as like a combo piece, not as like double dash pummel, whatever the charge attack. We're just talking about it.
It's tough because like strict combo decks don't exist too much in the UNiVERSUS that I've played. Like finding a quote unquote combo deck the same way I would in like Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh! It just they typically don't exist. They end up looking more like control decks.
Man, this is so tough because like I could easily see Stinker, but all it would take is like this just looks like a card that you would sit down and build and come up with something that would be like messed up and see it get hit and changed in some way or gotten rid of because it would be like degenerate just because you could like guarantee search and find things.
Mm.
Man, I'm gonna.
So
it's such a rare effect too. Like,
I would love it. Like when I think about this card, I'll talk about a different card game a little bit. I love the idea, like in a Magic the Gathering, you like search your deck for a card and you have to discard a random card. But like, what if you have no cards in hand and you just want to put that card in your discard pile? Magic the Gathering gets really cool with stuff like that, right? Where you add it to your hand and then you randomly discard it. So you basically got an entomb effect. But it's like little things like that.
Bush barrel effect. That is neat, but you can't really do. Ooh. Oh, sorry. It looks like. Are you still there?
Yep,
Sam?
I'm here.
Sorry, I interacted it for a second. Like, because it's a first form, you can't do that because you're always going to have cards in hand.
Yeah.
This is the first thing you do on your turn. Man, this is so tough without like seeing the rest of the card pool. I'm gonna respect the fact that I don't know what format this was in or what the cards in this format looked like, or if there were combo decks you could enable this, and respect the possibility that this could enable something and say it's a stud. But I will not be surprised if I find out I'm wrong. This will be the first one if I'm wrong where I'm like not surprised.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with stud.
Stud. So, would you play this in My Hero?
Probably not.
Okay.
Like if a card like this existed, I'd have to sit down and look at like the card pool and see if it enabled something or there was some kind of like gimmick. But I don't think it would see much play.
Okay.
Like to make a comparison, right? We're getting like special edition collectible, and that card I think will see a little bit of play in like slower like 5-handers maybe, and that card is at least like it doesn't also cost an attack to play, right? It checks at 3, but it's only like a 4 diff. This is like a 5 is like steep, and you're like you get to keep the card that you grab. This you don't even like. You might search this and discard. I'm only gonna go with stud because I don't know the card pool, and there's probably like if there's one gimmicky combo deck where like this tutored you something and you didn't care if it was like in your hand or your discard pile, and like it got you a kill somehow, like just some like crazy mix of cards I don't know about that make this card like a stud. But barring that, this is an easy stinker. But I'm going to respect the fact that I don't know the card pool and say that it's a stud, and that'll be my final answer.
Stud final answer?
Yeah.
Well, Psychedelic Dream World, it's 5 difficulty, it's a 3 control card, it has no block, it is a symmetrical effect, but it does go and get you any win condition you want. So, it's a stinker though.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, it's a stinker. It's just too risky, and this is the card that if I looked back and we were braver deck builders, we were better like masterminds of putting together like tight-knit combos, I could see people playing this card. If there's like a million people all over the world building decks, I could see this being in an archetype, but it's just so much risk involved with trying to run it.
Yeah, I mean that's the exact same thing I had to say about it, right? Is there was like it would have to be very particular and very specific for that to see play, but I just don't know the format of cards that it's on play in, so it's like tough to say. But yeah, in My Hero, there's almost like I don't have to look over the card pool for an effect like that, but I'd be very surprised if that card was playable at all in My Hero.
Yeah, there was once a character that just had a response that's like after you discard a card, draw a card. And it didn't share any symbols, but even in that character, I don't know if I'd play it right, like because you could technically, like, go up a card still, but yeah, just
it's still just too steep.
Yeah, too much. And then of course, if you lose your card and the opponent gets to keep it, how bad do you feel?
Yeah, and you won't even know, right? Because you don't even reveal it to each other. You just each grab a card.
Correct. Yeah, the rules have actually changed, I think, on that. Where at one point, if you search your deck for any reason, it was just in the rules to reveal it. But now I'm pretty sure, unless it has a identifier, unless it has something that you have to prove, like search your deck for a punch, because that's the thing. Like Price for Peace Deadlock, I don't think explicitly tells you to reveal those cards, but you do have to name a specific type of card, so you have to confirm that you did search for that card, right?
Right.
So yeah, it's very.
How many more did you? Sorry, go ahead, Sam.
I was just gonna say it's very interesting. It's usually found in the rules about whether or not you have to reveal, not on the card.
True. Honestly, I don't know the top of my head if you'd have to like blanket reveal that, because most cards will say. How many more did you have? I'm just curious, because like I've missed almost all of these.
I have, I think, 2 more. Yeah, we have 2 more.
Okay. Hopefully I can snag 1 or 2 last ones. For what it's worth, although I've missed all these, I've missed them all because of like card pool knowledge questions, not being like, I think this, or almost all of them. I guess the 7-diff like Phoenix card I thought was pretty good, and it just wasn't. But like in general, it's always been like a card pool, like cards around the card. It's never been like, I think this card's great, and you're like, actually, this card was dookie.
Yeah. It's fine. I think it's almost harder, though, now that I've done this twice, I think it's almost harder to do it like technically within your own game, but like different formats. Whereas normally when you see this game played, it's like a Yu-Gi-Oh player looking at a Magic card and going, huh, searching your deck is really good. I know that, but they don't know the card pool either.
Yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
But
it's only a very different experience.
Yeah, but since you have like experience actually playing these cards, you're going, wow, I would love to do this in my hero.
Yeah, a lot of these I would play. Like,
all right, second to last, the penultimate card. One of my favorite characters from Mega Man. One of the more fun characters to play was Pharaoh Man, and one of his cards is Pyramid Explorer. Is it a stud or a stinker?
2 difficulty 5 check. It has a 3 mid block, which is something. Your turn. Commit. Response. After your opponent commits a foundation to pass a check, choose a foundation. It doesn't ready during the next ready step. Okay. So, what did Pharaoh Man do?
So, Pharaoh Man said, enhance : your rival makes a check against a difficulty of 6. If it fails, this attack gets +2 damage. And then he also had a static ability that said all of your rival's checks during attacks get -1. Or he might have been a check of 5 on character. It might have been check of 5 with the -1. It was always a 6. Let me double check.
But either way, okay. That sounds like a neat character. Commander opponent commits one of my foundations to pass a check.
Yeah. He had cards that made you check against a 6, and I think he made you check against a 5, though. But yeah, it was very cool. And I actually, fun story, I mind gamed myself into not playing a character because my friend was playing Pharaoh Man, and I didn't understand how it worked. I had been playing the game for like 2 or 3 years at the time, and I had a character who had response after you play an attack, check a 5. If you pass it, something good happens. You like clog their pool. And I thought that counted the during this attack Pharaoh Man check, so I didn't bring that deck. My friend played Pharaoh Man into a king and thought it was a free matchup because he thought, oh, you're just going to fail all these 5s. Found out it doesn't work that way, and I could have played the deck and done fine.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's just really funny that like that one got me, and I loved that deck, and I wanted to play it so bad for that tournament, and I ended up getting 2nd place in that tournament. Whereas if I played the deck I wanted to, I would have been like 2 and 4.
It's going on your like. I just don't know. Like, this is like such a narrow and conditional effect. Like, it's a heads-up thing. Like, your opponent sees that the card is there, and they can just, like, not commit the really important card and use it on their own turn instead if they need to. Like, I feel like this card has a lot of counterplay. Like, I would be... It's only to pass a check. You can't even, like, force them to commit it for something else. Or you can make them, like, make the check, but they can also just, like, not pass their check, and then it's just damage. I guess, I don't... This one would surprise me if it was a stud. I'm pretty confident this one being a stinker. I would be very like, again, it had to be like one particular like deck or synergy or something. I'd be surprised if you were like, this was a life competitive staple, and every life deck on all characters ever played 4 of this card, and like you mulliganed your hand to get it. Like I'd be amazed. I'm gonna go with stinker.
Yeah. So this is basically like a freeze effect. I don't know if we've actually added freeze to the game just yet. I think it's coming in the next set with Stain 2. Where
it's coming with Stain 2 on Conflict, but like, so comparing this to Conflict, you get to pick a foundation that they have, and I believe you commit and freeze it, and I think Stain does the Stain thing. Like you have like much better targeting with like. Yeah, commit. After attack deals damage, freeze a rival asset or foundation. So you can even freeze like a ready asset, because I don't believe freezing forces it to get committed, but like it still locks them out of using it for the rest of the turn. Because if they do, then they're going to lose it later. So that still has some upside. Like, and I know Stain commits and freezes, so that seems like more useful to me. Also, Conflict of Ideologies notably can fucking kill you, and this card cannot. I'm gonna go with Stinker. I would be very surprised if this was like a competitive control staple of just like, you better not pass your check because I'm gonna get like 2 damage on my move, or like I'm gonna lock down your spam foundation. I'd be very surprised.
You wouldn't be down to like just commit a. You wouldn't be down to commit or to freeze like a precious lesson that your opponent had to commit.
No, because then they would probably just like destroy it, right? And get like, I think Precious is playable while committed.
No, it's
I'm trying to remember. Well, this they would have to like, but that's what I mean. This is like heads up, so they would have to like commit Precious Lesson in response to. Oh no, it's a flip cost, not
to pass a check.
I'm sorry.
Too,
yeah. Like they'd have to see that you have this, fail their check, and then pick specifically Precious Lesson. Like this card is just too heads up for me. So unless there's like some crazy like stun lock deck, I don't know. This would be so particular. I'd be surprised. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Stinker.
Stinker, final answer.
That's my final answer. Yeah, I'd be surprised.
This card was in fact a stinker. Pyramid Explorer is exactly as you said. It's just too narrow, and your opponent gets to make too many choices for this card to really be considered, despite being at the time a very neat effect. There was almost no other cards that quote-unquote freeze, that froze a card, I should say. It was not really like a codified word at the time.
Sure.
This might actually be the first instance of a Jasko era freeze effect, actually. I could be wrong, though. But does not ready during the next ready step.
Is what freeze does, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very, very strong effect, but it is very particular when you implement it. The last time freeze was in a rule book, it actually gets wasted if you did it on your opponent's turn, because it said the next ready step, and that would be your raise step, which didn't matter, so it would fizzled in. But I don't know how it's going to be implemented in my hero. So
we can look that up when we're done, because some of the Endeavor cards have freeze like in them, along with like defining what the effect does. So we can like look that up when we're done.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we'll check it out. But freeze almost exclusively an offensive effect. The last one. This one we're going to say is for all the points. We can throw all the stinkers out from before. We can throw the score out. This one's for 1,000,000 points. If you get this one right, you win the game.
Oh, great. No pressure.
So
Whip coin flip, right?
Whip Assault, Stud or Stinker Whip Assault. This is from the Mortal Kombat set.
Whip Assault. It's a 4 difficulty, 6 mid for 6. What a great stat line. It's a 2 check, but still, it's a great stat line. Combo attack. So you're supposed to play as a 6. Combo enhance. It's plus 4 damage. So 10. Combo enhance. Discard a momentum. Your opponent discards a card. Deadlock combo enhance. This attack is completely blocked. It still deals half damage rounded out. Man, I wonder if
it's a weapon.
And it's a weapon. I wonder if there was like a character. This is obviously a Mortal Kombat card.
Yep.
I think that's Takeda.
That is Takeda. Takeda.
I have no idea what Takeda does.
Takeda's whole gimmick is he discards the top card of his deck, and if it's a combo attack, you can gain the combo abilities on this current attack. So anything that says combo enhance, combo E, you can splice onto other combo attacks. And he also can commit himself to redo a combo ability. You've already played this enhanced step. So you can double up on combo effects.
Again, I didn't play. The only thing I know about the Mortal Kombat set is that Nutcracker was like $100. Like,
yes. Nutcracker had 7 fucking abilities on it.
Yeah.
Nutcracker is like the most accidentally pushed card I've ever seen.
That's all I know about the format. But like like this move looks like it's an excellent poke, right? Like even setting it like as a blank, like certain decks would totally play a 4 mid or a 4 difficulty 6 mid for 6 attack, even as a 2 check, like just as like an excellent poke or like attack string starter, because it's hard to block. Like it's got 3 combo enhances, and while the condition is difficult, the enhances are nuts. And you're telling me there's a character that can forcibly enable the combo cost, regardless if it's actually met. They can just like, you just get to do it.
Yeah. So like for example, you could play, let's say like a gravity capture net as Takeda, and you go like foundation capture net, and then you discard this card off the top of your deck. All of a sudden, Capture Net gains all of those combo enhances and can play it because it still fulfills its own combo requirement. But this is a 2 check, and you have to play 2 attacks before it if it's in your hand, right? This could be like a Garnet. If you played Yu-Gi-Oh!, this could be a card you never want in your hand, you only want on top of your deck.
Even as a 6 difficulty, a 6 mid for 6, a 6 mid for 10, like that kills people. Like, like I would be amazed if this is a stinker. Like Takeda's got to be doing some like other crazy combo shenanigans, because this strikes me as like a crazy combo shenanigans. So it's got to be like a stinker. There'd have to just be something like even more egregious, like. But I can't ask that because that makes it too easy. I can't be like, was there even something stupider, right? Like,
I can say this card was printed after Cowboy Bebop, which is where the Cathedral Standoff card was printed. And Cowboy Bebop was the biggest division of power creep. I will give you that hint, because we've seen a lot of older cards. We've seen stuff from different formats, right? And I will say that everything after Cowboy Bebop, the power level is very different. Like Pyramid Explorer wasn't like too much of a stinker. It was just like not proactively useful, but that's a totally different like meta game than this card would be.
I'm gonna take the Galaxy Brained approach here. As a My Hero player, everything about this card screams stud. Like it seems almost too obviously a stud as someone who only plays My Hero. And I'm gonna try to big brain here and assume that this is a trap, and I'm gonna go with stinker. Like the only thing I could think about why this would like not be a stud is if Takeda had better combos to be enabling. If he had some kind of like kill condition or like an even nuttier attack combo that was better to be enabling than this card.
Interesting. Okay, so it's funny, this is sort of the same reasoning you've had before, but now you're switching the answer.
Yeah,
right?
Well, to be fair, I've also missed almost all of this because I'm like, wow, this card would be great in My Hero. Like, and you're like, so, no, like, actually, we just had even dumber shit.
Yeah, I just love that like your reasoning has been like spot on. You've like identified this stuff correctly. It just always comes down to like this 50-50 at the end. So this time, are we saying stinker?
I'm gonna go with because like there's always been a bigger fish. So I'm gonna assume I'm just gonna assume that once again there's a bigger fish than Whip Assault. As like, and this card's an ultra rare too. Like, man, I'm gonna feel like
and it has a block. This is one of our few really good ones that has a block.
Yeah, I know. Like it just seems so obviously a stud. That's the thing. It seems too easy to just be like, oh yeah, it's a stud and path. So like, I'm going to assume that there's a crazier combo enhancer card that you played over Whip Assault with Takeda. That there was like something even better to be doing, and go with stinker.
So we're going to go stinker, final answer. Remember, it's for all the points now.
It's for all the points. Which honestly isn't much. I've missed almost all these doing almost the exact same thing.
It's for 1 million points now.
Yeah, so I'll feel pretty good if I notice that. I'm going to go with stinker.
Stinker, final answer. Whip Assault, the Cowboy Bebop, or sorry, not Cowboy, the Mortal Kombat Ultra Rare, 6 mid 6, we're saying is a stinker. It is a stinker, in fact. You were 100% correct. Takeda's ability to splice combo effects means he has like pseudo infinites, and he has alternate win conditions available to him. So you would never be trying to do combo for +4 damage or deadlock for a throw, or you wouldn't have momentum. By the time you could acquire all of these things, you would actually have just won the game by playing different combo cards 90% of the time. There is an uninteractable game-winning combo with Fatality from the same set. Fatality is also a combo, and it is very hard to pull off. However, because Takeda can splice it onto other cards, and because he has access to the right symbols, he can put together much more devastating combos that even if you wanted to do damage and like kill people the natural way, like by attacking, you have access to like repeatable massive stun attacks that give +6 damage with like the next set coming out. Like, so it didn't have a lot of time to shine and got overlooked really, because it is still a very good card. It's just you have to combo it and have 2 other attacks or discard it or have a momentum. It's one too many hoops.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, right? Like, holy cow! Like that card would be like a competitive staple in my hero. Like, it's like a 6 difficulty 6 made for 10 would like give it some speed. Like you're gonna kill people with that. That checks out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and like that's always been the consistent thing about this is these have all been good cards. There's just been better good cards that makes them stinkers, even though they're like good card. I mean, like, dude, good Jiro would play this, man. Like,
yeah, it would just be like a 9 mid for 10 in her.
Yeah,
Get the +3 speed combo for +4 damage. I could see that.
Yeah,
a 6 diff 10/10. That's about like her whole gimmick, right? That's her whole like wheelhouse.
Yeah, and she has the momentum to play with to just like, nah, screw your block. Like,
yeah,
get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So far, my favorite thing about playing this game has been the fact that no one has looked at a card and just went, this card is useless. Nobody has looked at a card in the 2 times I've played this and went, this card just sucks and does nothing, which is something I've seen from almost every other like staple or stinker game. Is there's always one in there that someone can identify as just, oh, well, this card doesn't actually work. And
yeah. That's one of the genuinely great things about this game, right? Like,
yep, that
is
they put a lot of care into at least trying to make the cards look appealing, and every card game actually needs bad cards. Every card game actually needs cards that obviously aren't good enough that you can build around and try to make good enough, because at some point, if it does become good enough, you'll be ahead of the curve, right? You'll be the first one to find out this new broken combo when you have experience with it.
Checks out. So to your earlier question, Stare Down from Endeavor Set. At the bottom it says freeze. A frozen card does not ready during its owner's next ready step.
Yeah, so freeze now can be used defensively on your opponent's turn because it says its owner's next. So.
Next ready step, yeah.
Yeah, there's I almost included this character, and I'll probably spoil it for anyone watching if they are a contestant. There's a character from Mortal Kombat called Nighthawk, and he had a response to destroy or freeze his own foundations, and he would get like a bonus to his check. So he could like commit his foundations for like 2 instead of 1 to his checks.
He doesn't get them later.
But the downside was that he would freeze them. But the thing is you would do it on your own turn, and then freeze would fall off on the opponent's turn, and then it comes back to you and they ready.
So he was probably at least decent, right? Like if he just like all of his foundations count as 2 on his own turn, like
yeah, and so he was pretty decent. He didn't have too much going for him, and like still just committing a lot of your board, not the best thing. But really quick, thank you for the raid, Tam Cardwell. We got a party of 9 jumping in right at the end. We actually just finished. Yeah, we just finished. Stinker, unfortunately.
It's all right. This was a really neat experience. I had a really good. It was neat to get to see all these like random cards through time, and it's particularly interesting to see how cards that by like our standard or like our current like format would be very good are just like not. They just weren't good enough, or were just in some cases downright bad. Like,
true.
I mean, man, I can't imagine them printing draw 2 cards on any attack without right like like without some kind of like crazy downside like.
Yeah, it's a tough game. I don't know how good I would do. I would actually love if someone like came up with a curated list for me, but it would pretty much have to be like all pre-Jasco era cards, and that stuff is all over the place. There are pre-Jasco cards that are like you know, your opponent discards their entire hand and this attack is unblockable. And it's like, this card is unplayable somehow. Like, so
somehow it's unplayable.
Yeah, like it's like, man, what a mountain to climb. But if you get there, this should just win you the game. It's not like, okay. Can I ask you really quick, what was your favorite card you saw from this list? What was the one that you liked the most?
That's a good one. I kind of want to say Whip Assault, frankly, because like, okay. Look at it. Okay, so either Whip Assault or the Cathedral Shot. I don't remember what it was actually called.
Ooh, like Cathedral Standoff. Yeah, the best art.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. Yeah, like what is this card? What does that card cost on TCG Player as a foil? Like,
I'm gonna say $9. That's my best guess.
Let's find. Let's find out. Look at my.
I think that's half of the starter decks. What do you think, chat? While he's looking this up, what do you think about Cathedral Standoff? All you new chatters, all the people who raided from Tamron Cardwell, do you think Cathedral Standoff is a stud or a stinker? Of characters? Tim Freely wants just all characters? Ooh, the character episode might be pretty good. I'm down.
Yeah, the character one could be good, yeah.
If any old heads are listening right now, if anyone wants to send me a list, just do it. Just send me, DM me, PM me a list on Discord, email me, whatever. Send me a list of cards, and I will absolutely find a contestant. Because there are plenty of people who have joined our game with My Hero Academia, and this has been some of the most fun I've had making content is showing it to like newer players, like the legacy cards.
Well, you should absolutely share the love, but if you don't have other takers, I would be very down to do a run for this with just characters. Like, yeah. Because honestly, characters are genuinely some of the toughest things to rate, right? Because you always have to consider, like, even if this character's good, all you need is someone else to do his shtick better, like, and then he has no point whatsoever, or like, you know, vice versa. And some characters do stuff you wouldn't even like expect them to do, right? Because of card pool interactions.
Yeah, characters are super tough because there's a lot of times where a character will win a bunch of events and people will go, oh, well, this character's not good. They're just the only person who can play X card. Or like there'll be a character who wins an event and it could have been any other character just playing that deck. So characters have been stuff that I stayed a little bit away from, but I did think the Gabrick one would be really good because in My Hero, Gabrick's probably like a great grindy deck that people would definitely be attracted to.
For sure. Like I would play that character on Earth, like 100%. Like, actually, I'd have to look at like the throw pool again. I'm not gonna lie. He was like Earth Evil and
Earth didn't get any throws until very recently in
I kind of autopilot, but there's not enough throws in it. He's Earth Evil, and what was his third symbol?
He is Earth, Void, and Life. Gabrick 2.
Oh, not evil at all. Earth, Void, and Life.
Yeah, you'd almost certainly be playing him Earth or Life, though. Those are like the two synergistic throw symbols. But yeah, like his throws, like Tombstone Stunner was meta relevant in 2020. It was a card printed in like 2016 that the static text became relevant. So like that's a card that went from being a stinker that was overlooked outside of casuals to like a very important part of a tournament winning deck, you know, like 6 years later for one event.
This card cannot be discarded from your card pool that ended up being like super important.
Yes.
What a crazy dude! He's like Tombstone Stunner like some random chick. Like, what did she do? Like, she doesn't have that coming. Like,
I think she stole his blood. I could be wrong. I don't know all the lore. I think Gabrick wants to die but can't, and people keep farming his blood to create super soldiers. That's what I think is the story.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think he would like to die but cannot.
Well, yeah. If you at some future point want to put something together like this, I would be very, very down to do it again with characters. That being said, if you get another taker, you should totally share the love, right? I'm not here to hog the spotlight, but if you've got no one else who's in my kind of pedigree, where I'm very familiar with the My Hero card game, and I feel like I have a great grasp on the cards, but I really don't know a damn thing about the older cards. Like, I don't like. Yeah, I would be very down to do this again.
And it's funny too, because like even cards I've played with, you could have like the Tim Keefes or the Kevin Brobergs of the world make a list for me, and I would be stumped. Like cards I played with at events I played at, and if it wasn't strictly based on like a metric of performed in events and stuff, I'd have to sit there and be like, huh, is this actually a good card, or am I just bad at it? Because there's so many cards that people hyped up and think are good, but we're like, there's just no proof of it, right?
That always happens with card games, right? Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to think of something for like My Hero right now, a card that everyone thought would be nuts, and then just ended up. Okay, so Cementos. Hold on, I'm gonna make your whole chat pissed at me right now. All right, so here's my nuclear weapons grade hot take. I actually don't think Recovery Girl is gonna line up very well into next set meta.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Yeah, I think she's gonna punish player. Yeah, I put her actually very low. I think she demands you play a different way against her, and a lot of people, especially early on, just won't, and they're gonna get mollywopped by her. But I think if you just set up 100-0 kills, and let's be real, a lot of decks in the game right now are very good at killing like 30 hit points. I've seen it. I'm glad you agree with me, Satonis, but I've seen a lot of people be like, no, I think she's like, oh wow, okay, I like your chat a lot. Everyone I've seen like in main community is like, this character's god tier, and I don't think so. I don't think she'll even get top cuts very much. I think good players will play around when she's doing too much.
My initial impression of her was that she just dirtles around and dies, and she doesn't do anything. That was like when people were saying the sky is falling, she's not going to do anything, etc., etc. I thought it was like Cementos. It was like Mineta 2 all over again. The main thing is that in playtesting, I haven't found super great answers that I like. And when my tier list, it wasn't strictly about whether or not the character is busted. It was specifically about whether or not I think you will see the decks in the meta, like in the top cuts, and if you're trying to win. And I do think Recovery Girl at the very least will be the gatekeeper. Like if your deck can't kill a Recovery Girl in one turn reliably,
it's not good enough. Yeah.
So that's the other reason why I think Nats is going to be like the insane aggro format, because it's brand new, right? It's a new format. Aggro always does better in early new formats. We are getting like explosive synergistic effects because they've printed a new card for every single character. So every character got a synergistic card, at least one. And then we're already trying to fucking kill Momo. We're already trying to fucking just beat some unkillable wall. And that being said, though, Recovery Girl does have a way better game plan against Gamer Toga. Right, like Gamer Toga chips away at you and stuff like that, and Recovery Girl does.
Admittedly, you're right. She does line up into like, I'm gonna play 8 medium attacks and just hope that gets there. Like, because Toga's definitely a quality over quantity approach. And you're right. She probably will do well there. But yeah.
So I put Recovery Girl at the very top only because in my testing, I have not found something I am super confident like better than 50-50 against, which is fine. That's balanced. 50-50 is balanced, right? But I haven't found any silver bullet to her. I haven't found a strategy that I think overwhelms her. And I have seen very good players spend a lot of time practicing her already. So that tells me that there is something there that wasn't dismissed. But that being said, if you are going to Nationals and you do not think you can one-turn kill a Recovery Girl, you probably need to restructure your deck. Or have some win condition, right? Because you can mill Recovery Girl. You can win some other way. But if you don't...
I guess it's true, yeah.
If you can't withstand throws every turn, right? If you can't withstand, deadlock-style effects, stuff like that, you'll probably have to rethink it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I did still put her S tier because I do think that she matches up specifically well against the absolute other best decks, though. So it's going to come down to a lot of skill matchups. But we've been here for a minute. I know you got food. I'm going to let you go. I just dragged this out way too long. I forgot you were waiting.
You're good, man. This was great. This was great. Yeah, keep me posted. Obviously, if you get another taker for the character thing, you should totally give them their time in the limelight. But if you don't, I would definitely come and do this again. I had a great time.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining me, Richard. I'm going to give you a chance. Plug your socials if you got a link, if you've got anywhere you want to plug people to.
Sure, give me a minute. I'll pull up my Patreon. So I know everyone listening is going to be like, "Oh my god, another Patreon!" Like this guy. Like, but everything I do is completely free.
Right.
Actually,
it's mostly just the social link for you, right? It's not a paywall or anything.
Yeah, there's no paid wall. There's an option where you can give me a couple bucks if you feel nice. Actually, I don't actually have this. I probably should have planned this ahead of time.
I was supposed to have the link myself set up with my bot, but I got distracted with the box opening. I was late to because my internet just straight went out right at 4:54 or whatever it was. So gotta love that, man. Gotta love.
I'm gonna open a new window on my content creator stuff. I'm gonna go to Patreon real quick.
Yeah. It always seems to be like right at the last minute when something absolutely can go wrong that it does.
yeah, I totally should have had this prepared, but yeah, I do a lot of like written coverage for the game. I think starting when set 3 cards are out, I'm actually working out with Unfun Stuff basically a giant. I'm gonna order a master set from them, so I can start doing for a Heroes Clash.
Oh, did you use the code plugin when you went to unfunstuff.com to save 5% off your order and get the best prices possible?
I did not, because it's a thing we're just doing through email. So far.
Well, just email Bromley and tell him that you want to use my code.
We'll do this another time. I'm sure we'll do this again. We should have had this ready. But like anyone who's here who's in like the main community page, you'll see me posting stuff. Mm-hmm. And I'll probably I'll join your Discord later and share stuff. Yeah, everything I do written coverage for events. I look at, so like for example, like Rochester, which we had 209 players. I look at what decks topped versus what decks were submitted, like how many people played what deck, cards that certain decks are using, decks that I think people are playing but probably shouldn't based on performance, and vice versa. Or I'll do card reviews. It's all very analytical, and the written page I feel is a lot better for that, and it's all completely free. So yeah, guys, you want to do some written content, you can check it out. I post stuff in the main group all the time. I really should have prepared something ahead of time. I feel bad about that now, but it's okay.
Well, yeah, no, it's the streamer life, man. It's one of those things where you can either have the thrill of live content, or you can have the polished, honed, put together product, and you get one or the other most of the time.
That checks out. That definitely checks out.
You ever see the streamers who are like, they're just like in the middle of like reading Twitter feeds, eating food, and you're just like, is this person actually at work right now? Like,
they have 2,000 people watching them. Like, really? Like, man, I chose the wrong career.
Yeah, like no hate, but I've seen some Yu-Gi-Oh live streamers where every time I've tuned in, they're just reading tweets, and I'm like, what an easy content cycle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, just free farming your own community for their hot takes.
Oh, you know what? Here, we'll do this. I'm gonna stay on the call for a second. I'll do this with my phone because it's much easier. Because I do most of my stuff through my phone, actually, not on my desktop. I'm gonna go and we're gonna copy this link real fast, and then I'm gonna pull you up on Twitch with my phone, and I'm just gonna plug myself there so you guys can see
have
the most
app?
recent.
The Twitch app?
I do have a Twitch app, yes.
I ran into this the other day. I was watching the Brewing with the Boys podcast on Tuesday at my locals, but I didn't have the app installed on my phone, and I couldn't chat because you cannot chat unless you are actually using the app, which is fucked up, and I hated it because they were talking about me and I could not respond.
I do have a Twitch app. That's a pain. So, hold on, we're going to mute my phone because we're going to get some feedback on my mic. And all right, there we go. That should be much better now. Yeah, there we go. There's a link to my most recent thing. Yeah, and don't be scared of my Patreon. Everything I do is completely free. I work for the state of California. They take care of me. I do this as a passion project.
Nice.
Yeah, so if you guys want more like written coverage as a alternative to videos, you've got that. And especially moving to set 3, I'm gonna start doing like a lot of videos. I can't should actually see if they got back to me at all on fun stuff. I'll check that later.
Well, it has been an absolute blast, Richard.
Yeah, I had a really good time. We should do this again.
I had so much fun. I'm definitely going to do this again. Maybe we'll get like a really cool rotation. Eventually, I will run out of cards though. Eventually, we will have only very obvious cards left. But until that time comes, we will keep on ticking. I am Sam Tate. I'm joined by the Chamber TCG, Richard Cruz. You can catch me tomorrow on Orange Card Blue Card podcast at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch the Chamber TCG over on Patreon. The link is in the chat. Is there anything else you want to say, Richard, before we take it off here? I'll give you the last word.
Other than that, I had a great time, and you guys should all go out and especially here. So here's a weird tangent. Here's what I'll close on. The Tulare Community College just did a video covering this game, so any of you guys who have local scenes or are trying to build one, now is the time to get out there. You guys should be out there trying to sell the game, building your communities. Like, starting next month, I'm going to start trying to do demos at my local friendly game store. I have to iron that out with them. Like we have a really good opportunity right now with this new set coming. We're getting like some mainstream, at least in the card game world coverage. Like, you should get out there, have a good time, and help spread the word.
Awesome. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you guys next time. Stay safe out there. Go check out Tulare Community College's videos. Go support your locals. All that good stuff. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.